Tonight, in our last broadcast for the news before Expo, we bring you this week's Flight Sim news. Brian from SayIntentions is joined on the stream as he chats all things FlightSimExpo and the projects they're working on. Then Jonx from GotFriends previewing a brand new glider which could be the latest and greatest from GotFriends. And then finally, we check out a brand new Alpha Jet for Microsoft Flight Sim. Hello, everybody, happy Wednesday. You're very welcome to this week's Flight Sim News. The midweek shuffle, the halftime show. Let's get over the hump. The news is here, and we're joined by Kat. News likes to be called Kat. It's warm. It's warm in Ireland. The air conditioning is giving it all the socks. It's like 24 degrees, man. And my skip hasn't been collected yet. I'm telling you, living it right. Do you know? Real life struggles, man. But anyway, it's almost part of the furniture, right? My neighbour's saying, are you getting that, you're bringing down the look of the place. But anyway, you're all very welcome aboard. Hope you're keeping well. Hope you had an awesome day. We're back. And tonight, friends, yes, we do have a good shot of news now to cover tonight. Brian from SayIntentions will be joining us, chatting about how they're getting on and prepping for FlightSimExpo. Then Jonx from GotFriends, something rather cool we're going to be showing off. And looking forward to it. And then, yes, there is a new Alpha Jet. I think it's by Vriga Studios. We're going to have a quick look at that over in the world of Microsoft Flight Sim as well. So, yes, this is our last news show prior to FlightSimExpo. Right? It's getting close. It's getting fierce close. And, we'll be chatting about FlightSimExpo as well. Right? Do you know, it's going to be busy. So sit back, relax, grab a tasty beverage, hide your wallet, and we'll get on through it, right? Who's here, look, on this Wednesday? Rumble into the chat as we shall dive in and say hello. CP65, on top of the evening. You're looking well. Also, let me know if the aircon is, over the microphone, right? Because I have it on full pelt. That's what... Jesus, that's why the cat's here. I saw it's a light, but it looked like it was on fire. It's all right, lads. Let me know if you see smoke. But anyway, who else is here? Captain Maximus, good to see you. Vacuum is in the house. GotFriends, let it roll. Hope you the Janie. Good to see you, man. Super Typhon is here. Eamon 1973, good to see you. Viper Strike is in the house. Hauling cargo in the 777 from Madrid to Faro. Ooh, nice. Or Faro. Welcome in. Heisenberg is here, good to see you. Liptorius, good day. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. And Wolfie, welcome aboard, man. Ned Ballooner, good evening. Heisenberg, it is time for the news. The news. Yes. Hope you're well, buddy. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, where are you off to now? You're a great cat, though, in fairness. She doesn't want to be listening to me, I suppose. Go on out and play with the traffic. Right, anyway, who else is here? Look, it's busy. 98 Vulcan, good to see you. PH Roy, welcome aboard. The lightning is better again in Sim Update 3. Nice. Team is in the house. Malky Mac, good day. Spitfire, RAF 100, rambles aboard. Max Stallion is here. Dougal McTavish, the chairman. Good to see you. Dougal, we have a flight tomorrow night. We're going to do a VATSIM flight tomorrow night, lads. We're flying to the Rock, but it's Gibraltar, and there's all sorts of stuff we need to study on this one. If you ever wanted to see a total failure, tune in tomorrow night. You'll see me fly. Nutty Slack is here. Good to see you. Mick Ham, welcome in. Sean Dale is here. Hello, hello. Yes, right before the wonderful Starship is on the way. Indeed. Right over here, Nightsep, thank you very much indeed. 55 months. What an absolute ledge. Thank you very much, sir. Hope you're well. Who else come in the door? Toto is here. Welcome in. Let me see. Hermit Something, good afternoon. Light Bison is here. Cy120, good to see you. DCS Ducks. Welcome in, Ducks. You're looking well. Chox is here. Commander Balosh, welcome in. Creo, good to see you. Creo. Super Ty, 3 streams in a row. Thank you very much indeed. Mech Manser, 25 months. He says, give me the news. Thank you very, very much indeed for all the support, lads. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Chris Van Halen is in the house. Welcome in. APU Inspector, evening and happy hump day, he says. The weekend is closing in. Janie, it is. Flipper Alloy, good afternoon. Who else is here now? Nick is here. Welcome aboard. Rip Johnny, good to see you, Johnny. Air Wolf is in the house. Quasar Core, Tier 1, 38 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well, man. Tarnish Mossman is here. Fat Rat CSB, good evening. Soaring AJ. AJH, man. Jesus, how are you? AJH. You see, it's an ism. But anyway, Piku is here. Good to see you. Who else come in the door now? Where's this now? Guten Abend, or Gluten Abends, says the Impossible Face. Welcome in, buddy. Where's this now? It's waiting for the Skoda. Wait, what? Right. 24 isn't warm. It's pretty warm now. TG Sims, good to see you. It's warm in Sussex as well. See? Right? It's warm everywhere. World premiere. Right, we're going to do, we actually are. We're doing a world premiere. Emir, tonight. This is going to be brilliant. Fantastic. I'm in charge of buttons now, right? You know, I could press the wrong button. From time to time, it has been known in the realm that it'd be grand. Time flies, it does. Wayland Utani, good to see you. The neighbour must say that every time you park the car there. Wait, what? Jesus, there's buttons all over the shop now. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Poor cat's gonna end up having because of the noise of your man. The cat's used to me. I can hear the AC slightly, but not a problem. Lovely hurdling. Muse Fan is in the house, bursts in the door with his elbow whilst ironing his Hawaiian shirts. He says, how he is his man jokes. Good to see you, buddy. Velo is here, welcome aboard. Flying tonight, currently ruining dinner. Yes, but first time on SayIntentions and it was grand. Excellent. The cat's going, Jesus, this he just started talking. I now best be out of here. Energizer can also speak. Flawless, fluent cat. Brilliant. AZ Blue Line is here. Good to see you. 4 Nax, thank you very much. 33 months of Prime. What an absolute ledge. Thank you very much indeed. Gaseous Maximus rambled in. Bellbro, good to see you. A Crotty. I drove up and down to Dublin from Cork. It was hot out there. That's the shot now, right? Phil White, good to see you, Phil. N Wolf is here, good to see you guys. You're all very welcome aboard. Wicked Lumberjacks is here, happy Wednesday. I just started watching Father Ted last night for the first time, and I have to say, it's fantastic. Brilliant. Everyone should watch Father Ted. You know, educational, historical even. Right, where are we at now? The Rock. Thank you for proving my point, General Sir. In the best Sean Connery accent I can muster. Welcome to The Rock. Where is this now? Crafty Tigers, good to see you. Hope all is well. Shirts, plural. Are you confusing me with Adam? Don't tell me you only have one shirt, have you? A single shirt, Muse. Jesus. Right, who else is here? Look, over to our friends. We shall say hello to Jaken's dad. Good afternoon. Northland Air is here. Sourdough Man. Mrs. TPHI. You're all very welcome in. Marigin. Good to see you, man. Marigin. With pints next week, man. We have to go for the pints. What day are you getting in? Visualize is here. Uniform Goose. G'day, Goose. Welcome in, man. Who else come in? Sir William is here. Aviation Life, how are you? Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. Who else? John Hawks. Welcome back, John. Anna Crussus is here. Bat is in the house. UTV and Ham. Welcome aboard. FlightSim Max. Good to see you, Max. Leonardo Da Vinci. Good afternoon from Atlantic City. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking well. Chris Cohen just sponsored. Welcome to the flight crew. Chris, thank you very much indeed. Elliot is here. I host a radio show in Devon and found myself saying Jesus on air today. Brilliant. It's working, right? People now sending letters saying you can't. No, it's not that word. It's a different word. It sounds like it, but it isn't. It's spelled differently too, you see. But yes, 22 degrees outside now in Boston. It'll be 33. Ooh, 33 degrees, right? Mystic is here. Good to see you, Mystic. Mike Coffey, welcome in. Kieran Nile is here. Hey, Kieran, hope you're well. Enjoying the weather, right? Enjoying the weather. Sunjammer, I love my brick, he says. He does. He's mad about that brick. It's good to see you. Care85 is here. Welcome aboard. Reckless Ray with a 29-month Tier 1 subscription. The man is a legend. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you're well. Schutz, yeah, it is a bit warm. Daz Higgy, welcome aboard, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, it is fierce warm out there now. Super Thai, 21 degrees with him. It was 24 here today. And Chunky Flyer, it's 105 in Vegas right now. You see, that's why they make you stay indoors. Air conditioning, you know, nice scenery, competitive atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? Sir Campsalot, 225 streams in a row, look. 225. Jeez. Adam Controls. It's fierce mild. Fierce mild. Adam, how many Hawaiian shirts are you bringing? Muse fan was asking. But yeah, we'll have to find out what the story is. Only 5 flights left till I finish the Zurich schedule. Ooh, nice. Fly with Craig is in the house. Hello, Craig. Good evening. You're looking well. That new cologne. I love what you did with your eyelash. Welcome in. Where's this now? Unfortunately, one of those is Courchevel. That'll do. Montana Man, good to see you. Tomorrow can't come fast enough. Give us the Starship, right? Hemel is here, good to see you. I've only the new one and the old one. Was I supposed to stock up? No. Like, if you only have 2... Jesus. If you only have... How did that even happen? If you only have 2 Hawaiian shirts, you can turn them inside out and get double the use. And that's what we do, right? So it's only 5 degrees Celsius here. Someone pressed a button and I don't know what it was. We'll turn off that light now as well. Right, come on over here, we'll get started. It's a busy night now tonight, right? Come on over here, look. Sure, I'll probably do a pennies run between now and then. Or sure, we can buy some over there. Adam, we can get, you know, America has Hawaiian shirts, you know. They're not as nice as the ones we get here, but you know what I mean? I've alerts not working. What's going on? There should be a mode, but it's not working. That's just great now, Murphy. Well done. That's a sign of things to come, lads. Sign of things to come. But anyway, yes, we have a lot of stuff to get through it today. Hang on. Jesus, I feel bad for Craig. We'll fix this. I'll give you a different one.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
Right, just for Craig, right? Brilliant. Now, unpress that so you don't break it. I don't know why the old Jesus mode isn't working. I need to fix that, lads. But anyway, you'll see our backdrop here. We're here with the beautiful Phoenix A320. We're at Dublin, and we're just kind of prepping the scene for when Brian joins us. From SayIntentions, right? Look, it worked there, look. Very strange. Murph, they're only Hawaiian shirts if they come from the Hawaii region. Not at all. Don't mind that at all. It's like cowboy hats. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, lads, we've a fair battle of news to cover tonight. So, holy tabs on his screen, Batman. Now, lads, the story here. Jesus. A massive... a massive... Why didn't it work for Craig? Or was it the redeem isn't working, but the command is? Ah, right, okay. Dougal says, we like Brian. He's a grand fella. He really is. Massive shout out to Vasco over at MSFSaddons.com for providing the news for us this evening, along with Callum and all the lads at FS Elite. So 23 of them tabs, there's a few of them. Did you count them? Anyway, lads, we're going to start off at the very beginning. In about 40 minutes, give or take, we're going to be chatting with Brian from SayIntentions, and about 45 minutes to an hour after that, we will be welcoming we will be welcoming the lovely Jonx onto this stream. Right. Jesus, Roy just gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Like, look what they did, look. PH Roy, thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub from PH Roy, do be sure to say thank you. Very kind of you, sir. Right, so IniBuilds have revealed the F406 Caravan 2 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and it has mission-ready variants, right? This is a nice surprise that kind of came out of nowhere. IniBuilds unveiled the next aircraft they're working on, general aviation, which is great news, and it's the F406 Caravan, developed with extensive real-world access and first-hand pilot experience, and it's going to be shaping up to be one of the studio's most purpose-driven aircraft yet. Compatible with both 2020 and 24, the IniBuilds F406 aims to simulate a wide range of real-world operations. Now, IniBuilds went off and did some really nice interviews with operators of this aircraft, and I didn't realise just how versatile this aircraft is when you talk about the type of roles and stuff that it does, right? The project began with a deep personal roots. Mike Standen, IniBuilds head of production and a former commercial pilot, once flew the 406 for a UK-based RVL group. His familiarity with the aircraft, combined with rare access to the operational models at RVL's East Midlands Airport base, gave the team a strong foundation of development. Mike from IniBuilds, head of production, previously flew this, and well, they're an operator known for its government and private sector contracts. A lot of it goes into kind of survey missions, mapping missions, and a bit of cargo and VIP thrown in there as well. IniBuilds visited RVL multiple times. They got a 3D scan of the aircraft, and from the little trailer we can see here, you can kind of see the details, because they hosted an interview with an active pilot, with Harry Shaw. He's the chief pilot of this aircraft, and it's pretty much just a discussion all about, what's the machine like, how does it fly, and you can see the questions here, right? So why did that company choose the aircraft?
Previous fleets were the 402 and 404. The Reams 406 was a upgrade of the 404. The turbine upgrades to it. It became a great flatbed for operating survey. Cargo, it can take nearly a ton of cargo in the back.
A ton of cargo?
Still flying 200 knots, and the space in it is pretty spectacular.
So it's a very versatile looking airplane, and yeah, really looking forward to this. The variants we're going to get a passenger cabin, cargo, surveillance, including fully animated gyro, stabilised camera and interior op station. We're going to get Coast Guard equipped with side-looking airborne radar and automatic identification systems, and then a spray variant of the aircraft as well, configured for environmental missions as well. Turn off, you... Right. Now, we'll cool the jets on that guy for a second. Each variant includes functional systems to support the role. And we also have an option of the avionics. On the technical side, IniBuilds is equipped with the aircraft with a fully integrated GTN650 suite, compatible with that for the Asobo, PMS and TDS, a modern EFB with Navigraph support, dynamic payload controls, and door-window interactivity. The aircraft also features a custom autopilot tailored for single pilot ops, which is how the aircraft is most commonly flown in the real world. The electrical system includes functional circuit breakers, cockpit lighting, individually adjustable with rotatable stalks, them yokes that upset your life, and real-world scanning ensures accurate model, including custom Fowler caps or flaps, realistic propeller animations, and the exterior service features. The sounds of this aircraft have been put together by none other than Echo 19, and it's going to be compatible with the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 career mode. All brilliant stuff here. The lovely Kaharia has joined us. Good evening, Kaharia. Who else is here? Martin K, good to see you. Zith is here. Welcome in. So yeah, that's an aircraft on a relatively short final. Hoping to get my hands on this soon to bring it for an spin and see what happens. Stu Snape is here. Good to see you, Stu. But yeah, looking forward to that. Great work from IniBuilds, pushing out more and more aircraft. Now, Bluebird simulations. Yes, we're still talking about Bluebird simulations because they have finally given us an announcement of the price and then the development roadmap and also what they're going to be doing with their 767. Now, this is an aircraft we've been following for years, literally years. The 757 from Bluebird Simulations. It started off at not being study level, and then they changed their mind a little bit of the way into the project, and they said, no, we're going all out here. We want to make this, the highest in fidelity when it comes to study level systems and all the jazz. So much so, they've actually had a number of complete and utter kind of rebuilds of the aircraft during its early life cycle. And well, there's more to come. The good news is this is going to be available at FlightSimExpo, right? You can get your hands on the aircraft. It's in a very early kind of alpha kind of state, right? Spiral Flies, welcome in, Spiral. Thank you for the follow. It's going to be there that you can kind of mess around it and play with it and just kind of see how it's coming along. But in terms of an actual release, it's going to be later on this year. They have, however, given us an insight into the pricing for this. The passenger variant of the 757, which will include both the Dash 2 and 300 variants, with all engine options with compatibility for both simulators, 2020 and 2024, will be priced at $80 including tax where applicable. So it's a pricey machine. Bearing in mind, you're getting 2 variants of the aircraft with each engine option, and it's going to be working on both sims. What are your thoughts on the price? I'll leave that one with you. The aircraft will be available through the Bluebird's own website and, of course, Just Flight, and the Xbox and Marketplace versions are planned. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Bluebird emphasised the pricing announcement does not mean release is imminent. It is not, they say, but it responds to a frequent community question. Fair enough. They're going to work on a 3-stage beta roadmap. Stage 1, small group of testers with in-depth 757 knowledge. This is the stage of the aircraft that will be shown during FlightSimExpo. Stage 2 begins once the FMS is complete. And then Stage 3, full-scale beta involving the entire test group. The stage represents a more traditional form. I would say we might get it this year. It could be early next year. Bluebird says the FMS remains the biggest blocker to progress. Despite solid development on other systems, building the FMS from scratch is time-consuming. Fair enough. Some of the systems, how they're getting on, pneumatics, air, ground, electrical, they're all up and running. They're getting there slowly but surely. Over 250 custom cockpit sound samples have been built in collaboration with pilots and also some sound engineers. The circuit breakers, 500 of them mapped with at least 2 of them functional. Hello there. Kind of mad, right? Kind of mad. Flight Deck Dan, welcome in. Strap is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Who's this now? Biggin, good to see you. Declan Biggin, or Big Man, good to see you. But yeah, so they're going to be at FlightSimExpo. We'll have a chance to have a look at this aircraft, see how it's getting on. Attendees will get hands-on time in the 757 in Stage 1. The team will also be giving away T-shirts and Gemini Jets Delta 757 die-cast model. Ooh, very fancy indeed. Moving over to their 767, the update is also bringing some news, led by a separate team and in parallel with the 757. The 767-300 extended range will be the initial release, with a 767-4 confirmed as a future variant. 3D model almost complete, created with the help from 3D scans. Texturing for the VC is underway, that's the virtual cockpit, and the team say development will move faster than the 757 thanks to the established code base. Both aircraft are very, very similar. No release timeline yet, but it is expected to follow the 757 in a shorter timeline there. So it's good news. We're kind of getting there. $80 price tag might be a little bit higher than I think a lot of folks are expecting. I'm on the fence, right? Until we actually see the aircraft and how it performs and, it doesn't break your sim and all the rest. I'm excited for the project. It'd be great to get a 757 into Microsoft Flight Sim. I mean, the best 757 experience right now is over an X-Plane. And that aircraft is going through a lot of updates as well from Flight Factor. So we'll have to just wait and see. Brendan, thank you very much indeed for the follow. You're most welcome in. Now, Vriga Studio, they released an officially licensed product, a Dassault AlphaJet. Now, they're not the only guys working with Dassault. I mean, we know that AzurPoly are working there as well. But this was an interesting one. Wasn't much build-up for this, because we knew there was a freeware AlphaJet out there, right? Well, this one is a payware one. So, a new name just to enter the Microsoft Flight Sim scene with a bold debut. Vriga Studio have released its first aircraft for the sim. It's officially licensed by Dassault. It's the AlphaJet. These things were made famous, of course, by the Patrouille de France, part of the aerobatic display team, and they also served in a number of other roles, mainly in France and Europe, but also worldwide as well. The Air Corps were looking to buy these years ago. I've sat in one of these. They're a beautiful aircraft. They're kind of in that same kind of realm, the 339 neck of the woods. This aircraft for the French replaced the Fouga Magister, and they went with the AlphaJet then after that. 2 Dassault aircraft now in development that we know of. Of course, the Rafale is there from AzurPoly, and now we have this, the AlphaJet, a 2-seat advanced trainer and light attack aircraft developed jointly by Dassault, Bruges, and also Dornier. It entered service in the late 1970s. has since become quite famous, particularly as the aircraft's choice for France's Patrouille de France, the aerobatic display team, all the way back since 1981. It did develop the likes of the Fuga Magister and a T-33, so you can kind of see how they kind of evolved. It quickly carved out its own identity, high-performance trainer with tactical versatility. We're going to be checking out this aircraft live on the stream a little bit later on. I know you guys were asking what the story was about it. I bought it today. I'll bring it for a blast. I reached out to the developers. I had 2 questions for them, and I'll bring it up to speed with that a little bit later on. There are some nice features though. Fully modelled front and rear cockpits, support for an AI co-pilot with full checklist integration, multiplayer ready instructor and student mode, 5 liveries, realistic 3-colour smoke pod system. It has its own tablet EFB, animated cockpit, custom coded systems, and functional fuel management. Authentic engine start, VOR, ILS, and TACAN support, and of course has the Lazark or the Larzac 46C or 4C6 English Murph, you can do it, engine simulation. High G wing flex, all sounds recorded from a real Alpha jet. We'll look at them a little bit later. Multiple levels of cockpit lighting and dimming. Aircraft wouldn't be a million miles away from the Fuga. I mean, it was the next aircraft on from the Fuga Magister. Anyway, it's available right now over on Sim Market. It's priced at around 35 or 36 bucks. Let's double check that. I think it's like 35.78 in euro. We're going to check it out later on, and we'll see what the story is with that. Now, moving on, great news here, friends. Flying Iron, well, they've shared the first look at their upcoming Spitfire 2.0 remake for FlightSim 2024. Now, I was kind of surprised and a little bit taken back by this because, well, they're really, really delving deep back into this original project. This was, I want to say, the first kind of proper warbird we had. We did a massive group flight back in the day. There was Forward Alert to Fly, CDL, Flying Fabio, and myself. And we flew these guys in and around Dover. It was a massive group flight, a great night, and it was just superb getting to fly a Spitfire. The sounds were there, the looks were incredible. It's always one of my go-to aircraft, especially with VR. I mean, you look at that massive wing, it's just beautiful. However, Flying Iron are now going right back to the roots to rebuild it. What are they doing to it? Well, the remake for 24 is coming along very nicely. The image shown appears to be a complete rebuild of the aircraft's interior structure, and it looks like Flying Iron is starting fresh with new foundation, likely designed to take fully advantage of the new Sim's render capabilities. That said, no confirmation yet of the changes, be it flight dynamics, systems depth, WI's audio, or integration with the new features like persistent aircraft states or even maintenance, but it's very much a virtual tease of some of the details they're managing to jump in there. And you can see from some of these renders here, like there's details at play here now, and you're kind of saying to yourself, where are they going with this? Because anyone who flies the Spitfire, I'm sure we all agree, it's a great looking plane. It's a great flying plane. A lot of fun. Easy to jump into, quite hard to master. And we're looking at the visual fidelity of what they seem to be working on. Well, this is very, very exciting indeed. The renders show a number of intricate cockpit elements, including the reworked gun sight assembly, seat structure, harness, and all the jazz. And it's also noting none of that has been textured yet. Flying Iron haven't shared a release date, any sort of development timeline, or any other details for that matter, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But be aware now, Spitfire 2.0 is coming. It's in the works, and let's see how that goes. Do you know what I mean? UTV, you take care, buddy. You take care. VR Flight Sim Guide, good to see you, man. Hope you're well. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that, and more news about Spitfire stuff a little bit later on. Now, AzurPoly premieres the trailer for the Dassault Rafale at the Paris Air Show, no less. And I don't have it covered here, but also a big shout out to Vriga Studios as their latest and greatest aircraft, the how do you pronounce it, the Artea or something like that, that's been premiered today or tomorrow, I think, at the Paris Air Show as well. Great news. But to mark the opening of the Paris Air Show, AzurPoly have premiered the first official trailer for its upcoming Rafale Dassault, and the video produced by Practically Geek offers a cinematic first glimpse at the French multi-role fighter as it takes shape in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right? Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, the Artea, that's the one. Thank you, Sean. The trailer is being showcased directly at Dassault's aviation stand. That's pretty cool, right? A high-profile debut that signals just how significant this project is, not just for AzurPoly, but also for the broader Microsoft Flight Simulator community. I mean, after all, the aircraft being developed under an official license from Dassault Aviation, a rare arrangement in the flight sim space when you have aircraft manufacturers actually signing off on this and saying, go ahead. The reveal trailer focused primarily on the exterior models, which AzurPoly says is already well advanced. While the video doesn't really dive into the cockpit or the systems, it does give a clear sense of what the aircraft silhouette and dynamic presentation in the sim is going to be. As I said, Practically Geek did a phenomenal video here, and you can really see the details, especially when it comes to that canopy glass. That's a job and a half to get that to work without flickering. So hats off to AzurPoly. AzurPoly, they don't need much of an introduction, lads. They've already brought us some incredible aircraft. I mean, the Epsilon, the Fuga Magister, the C-160, they just go on and on. The Bronco, and of course, the Jag. Right? I mean, they've been making absolutely stunning airplanes, very, very functional, great sounding, great flying, and they're just fun to fly, right? So this will be absolutely on the list of things to try out as we get a little bit closer to release. And a shout out to Practically Geek here as well. The man is doing phenomenal work with his videos. Super duper. So moving on, more news when we have it. SimWorks Studios, Alex and the lads joined us there a few weeks back talking all about the GA8. That's the Airvan, the aircraft that somewhere between an Otter, a Grand Caravan and a Kodiak. Well, they're preparing to launch that aircraft now for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's due to debut in a little bit, 10 days, 8 days time, right? We're about a week away from this aircraft. We gave it the full beans live on stream, getting to chat to the developers, and Two Cats is involved in that as well. And it's a beautiful hand-flying aircraft. It has autopilot, it has its own wear and tear. They've even custom-coded walk-around, which is basic now. It's default in 2024, but they've reverse engineered it to work in 2020, which is great news. So SWS have been flat out with this, and they're getting very, very close to release with the aircraft. It's Australian built, and it's a pure workhorse of an airplane. As I said, we got to fly it a couple of weeks back, and the aircraft is going to be sold as kind of like a standard model, right? And then you can choose an upgrade, right? You can upgrade that with an add-on, which will include failures, wear and tear, and all that jazz. Now, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, me personally, just give me the whole thing. I want the features all included, but I get it. I mean, look, if there's people who have no interest on the consequence of mishandling aircraft, they just want to fly them. I get that, and that allows them to release that as a cheaper variant. If you want to get all the bells and whistles, well, you pay a few quid more. That's the idea. So yeah, that's going to be on a very short final, about a week or so, a week or 10 days before this comes out. So with their EFB that they've built, this kind of, the flight bag, the electronic flight bag, they're saying that is now going to be put back into their other aircraft, most notably the PC-12, which needs a bit of work, and their Kodiak, which did get a bit of work done some months ago as well. So looking forward to it. I mean, we flew the PC-12 a couple of weeks back in Flight Sim 24. It behaved well. So yeah, let's see how the release of the GA8 Airvan, beautiful airplane, and very interesting project as well. So great stuff there. Now, onto the heavy airliners. PMDG have launched the 777-300 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I need to take this for a flight soon, but they've also updated their entire 777 line, and they're preparing for the 200 long-range beta. Friday the 13th, PMDG managed to release this aircraft, build 113 for the entire 777. Product line just rolled out. The long-awaited 777-300ER, now available in Microsoft Flight Sim, and we got a Firefly Air livery for this one as well, lads. Do check out the website. And Robert Randazzo confirmed that all 777 variants are now updated to build 113 on the Microsoft Flight Sim platform. Customers using 2020 will see new versions. Those on 2024 will see new versions reflecting the split code base between both sims. The update available exclusively through the PMDG Operations Center. And don't forget, lads, there is a different Operations Center if you're using Flight Sim 2024. Just to give you a look, if you go into my aircraft, we have the original PMDG Operations Center. It's kind of hidden here behind the IniBuilds sign. And then just below it, behind me mallet head, you have the PMDG Operations Center version 3. So there are new ones, so you want to watch those. All right? Next in line, what we're looking at, the 777-200. Beta is going to roll out for that soon. And as for the other aircraft, such as the 737 and indeed the long-teased 747, no updates just week. But let's cross our fingers and arms and ears and toes and well, let's see what FlightSimExpo has to say about that. Now, moving on, we've already covered this, but iFly have released their 737 MAX 8 into Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Very good reports back on this aircraft so far. Haven't seen much issues with it. And the iFly 737 MAX 8, I fly this a lot. It's a beautiful, beautiful plane. I've been flying it in Flight Sim 20 quite a bit with our VATSIM flights. This week I'm moving over to Airbus, the bus, right? But again, it's an update for those who had it in 2020, and they're using it as a kind of like a beta experimental branch of its development. Great news there from iFly. Just thought I'd cover this story again because just in case you missed it. So you'll have to update the iFly manager, and then you can grab it then for Flight Sim 2024. Black Square Starship, we covered this last week. I even flew it today. This aircraft is due to release tomorrow, June the 19th. A general aviation aircraft from Black Square in partnership with Just Flight, who are going to publish the aircraft. It's going to release tomorrow, priced $39.99 Great British pounds, 44.95 euros, or 54.99 US dollars. We don't have a time just yet. Just keep your eye out. You'll hear me shout. It's available. This will be made available tomorrow. I've had a lot of fun exploring this aircraft, I've only kind of scratched the surface. Beautiful sounds. It flies really well. The system's depth is absolutely insane here. It goes so deep. Navigation options, environmental options. There's consequence. There's wear and tear. There's damage. There's all sorts of situational stuff. And there's also a button to turn it all off. So if it is a little bit overwhelming, well, you can turn off all that stuff as well. It's Evitech. Good to see you, buddy. Your start menu is so sexy. Never knew you could do that. Oh yeah, Craig, you can make little folders and everything. Some say it's OCD. I just, it's a Murphyism, you know. But anyway, lads, Black Square Starship, it's coming out tomorrow. Make sure you get your eyes and ears on it. We covered it on stream quite a bit, and also Just Flight have published all the videos that Nick Kazansky has made himself, a full overview of the systems, and it comes with a very big manual to kind of allow you to delve a lot deeper into the systems and functionality. So great news there. Now, a bit of sad news tonight. Golden Age Simulations, they've announced closure. After nearly 20 years, the aircraft developer announced it'll soon suspend all its sales. Their announcement was, after nearly 20 years of development of aircraft models for flight simulation, it is with mixed emotions that Golden Age Simulations have decided to cease operations, including product sales, effective from the 30th of June. Current vendors Just Flight Sim Market and the Microsoft Marketplace have been informed and asked to suspend sales by that date. I have been assured that your purchase history is maintained on the servers, allowing access. The direct purchases from our website will be supported by us, limited to download replacement requests. Therefore, it's an end of an era, if you like. These guys have put out some really, really nice planes. I mean, the most recent release was the Super Stearman, right? But they also had a host of other aircraft, not only in Flight Sim 2020, but it also goes back into the days of P3D and FSX. The exact reasons for the shutdown, not detailed. The challenge of small-scale development, rapidly evolving Flight Sim landscape are indeed well known. It is a very competitive space, as we know. Golden Age Simulations winds down. The developer has assured customers direct purchases from their website, as well as direct access downloads from Just Flight, Sim Market, and Microsoft Marketplace will continue to be supported, but limited to previously purchased aircraft. Sad news. As I said, I like the aircraft these guys are bringing out. The Stearman was absolutely incredible, and it's just a sad day, you know. Yeah, in other words, they're saying get your aircraft now. Who knows what will happen? Because, you know, when these guys stop and you can't buy the aircraft anymore, any sort of updates to the platform could break the aircraft, and now we would have aircraft we can no longer fly because, well, they're not going to support it, right? Maybe the community will take over. I don't know. Can any other developer reach out to Golden Age Simulations and say, hey, we'll buy these off you. We'll continue to keep them up to date, because they are beautiful airplanes. They are stunning airplanes, and they do delve quite deep, really do. And their Stearman, like, it's a study level Stearman. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a sad day, certainly for Flight Sim. Anyone who's doing this type of add-on, I mean, it's not all about the latest and greatest and the big airliners and all this. This is quite a, you know, a niche within the niche of the niche, underneath the niche, beside the niche market. I get that. But still, some very nice airplanes there. Now, moving on, IronSim releases Paro International Airport for Microsoft Flight Sim. IronSim released Paro, Victor Quebec Papa Romeo for Microsoft Flight Sim, known as one of the world's most dangerous airports. Paro sits deep in the valleys of the Himalayas, and it's only accessible under visual flight rules with a handful of certified pilots. The scenery features custom terminal buildings, towers, hangars, and static aircraft, and IronSim have also included sloped runways and terrain mesh to help replicate the airport's real-world profile. The surrounding environment includes several landmarks, 3D objects to complement the approach path, and the visuals use full PBR textures, and the airport is populated with parked vehicles and clutter in and around the apron. A couple of pictures here now. Land side looks a little bit kind of, you know what I'm saying? But the air side does look good. And definitely a challenging airport, right? Like mad. I don't know if you guys have flown this. We flew it in general aviation. Putting airliners in here, ooh, right? So yeah, lots of fun with that one. Anyway, you can pick this up now over on Orbex for $14.84 or Sim Market for $16.02. Add-ons compare. But yeah, you can pick that up there now as a brand new airport. FeelThere have released their rendition of Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport for Microsoft Flight Sim. Kilo Delta Charlie Alpha. And this one here, located in Arlington, Virginia, just across from the Potomac River from downtown Washington, D.C. DCA, known for its proximity to the major national landmarks and its complex airspace, shaped by both noise abatement procedures and security considerations. Not the easiest airport to fly in and out of. Now, this is not the first we've seen of Ronald Reagan. I think Jerizvecki Design made one of these as well. Great stuff. But anyway, custom buildings, PBR textures, model terminal interiors, it's all there. The airport, you can pick it up, available straight from the developer's website or simmarket.com for a price tag of €22. But yeah, if you want to have a look at that and let me know, I'll pick it up and I'll be happy to showcase the airport for you. Wasn't the Jerizvecki one? Didn't they have like a fella doing Gangnam Style in it? Wasn't it? I think it was. Anyway, moving on. Take off into the Rockies. Propair flight releases KBJC. KBJC, it is the Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now available for both 2020 and 24, detailed rendition of Colorado's third busiest airport, offers a high-quality and performance-friendly environment just northwest of Denver. Located between Denver and Boulder, this airport serves as a core facility for general aviation, corporate traffic, and indeed flight training. It's a controlled airfield that sees heavy usage, but without the stress or complexity of a Class Bravo airspace. For sim pilots, that means you can practice IFR approaches, hop over the mountains for some scenic VFR routes, or even spend an hour in the pattern. Handcrafted terminal area with FBO buildings, high-resolution textures, custom ground poly with realistic runway and taxiway details, dynamic night lighting, animated people, and so on. We do have a video here. We'll give this, well, it's only 30 seconds, so we'll have a quick look. Released on behalf of Orbex, which is great to see. So we'll see, as you can see, well, it looks nice, doesn't it? Beautiful work on the terminal buildings, I think. Do you know? So, yeah, I mean, look at the lighting there as well. Anywhere up this neck of the woods, anywhere in and around Denver, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Energizer says Jerizvecki Airport for Washington both looks better and is cheaper than the FeelThere variant. I'm surprised they made that airport. There you go. There you go. That's what happens, right? They'll claim it's newer, but I know Jerizvecki, like they did the landmarks for Washington as well. Like they had a whole lot of stuff in there. But anyway, you can pick up this airport now directly from Sim Market or from Orbix Direct, priced in and around $18, right? If you want to go ahead and grab that. Propair flight releases that of the Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport. Great stuff. Now, this is something that Gibbo alerted me to earlier on, and I grabbed it and I've been messing around with it. It's called FSRAC or FSRAC 3.0, now supporting flights in 2020 and 2024. Basically, what this little application does, it's payware, it's the bones of $20, but what it does, do you know the volume controls you have in your aircraft? You know, your COM1, COM2, that could be VHF, you know, DME, ADF, all your different communication dials for volume. But what this bit of software does, it'll actually start moving certain sounds to be controlled by those volume knobs. Meaning you could have your, you know, your COM1 radial volume inside your aircraft, and you could select something like SayIntentions, for example, right? Or you can have, COM2 for your sim sounds, for example, GSX on another button, and so on and so forth. It controls the other application's volume, but it links it into your aircraft directly. The add-on is actually, it comes working with a number of aircraft pre-built into the profiles for it. They include the most, your most popular, your IniBuilds, your PMDGs, fly-by-wire, so on and so on. And also some default aircraft as well. It works with both sims. It's relatively easy. It's an application that lives outside of your sim. You just point and click. It does the rest. I have it here. Might have a quick look at it, see how the night goes. But for $20, I mean, this is something that probably should be a Windows setting, right? Or certainly in the sim. But of course, without folks making this sort of stuff, well, we don't really have these ideas. I do know that SayIntentions gives you the ability, it's experimental, but it gives you the ability to control its ATC volume through your aircraft, right? So do you need this? I don't know. But yeah, Michael Walsh is here. Good to see you, Michael. So that's an add-on out as well. TDS, they're bringing cross-fill and GTN integration into Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And it's not as simple as just copying your route from one page to the other. Both GTNs work independently of each other, but they do have cross-fill, meaning you can have, flight plan A and flight plan B, and then you're able to kind of throw the two of them over and get them to mix up. And this is something that the real GTN units from Garmin actually do. So we are taking that step closer to, realism when it comes to these Garmin units. And it's all thanks to TDS. The crossfill, sometimes misunderstood. Basically, it mirrors over 14 different data items between both of them, including your flight plan, frequency, CDI scaling, airport filters, and so on. It works across all the GTN combinations: 750, 750, 650, 650, 750 plus a 650. You get the idea. If you want your units to work independently, there's a toggle to disable crossfill in the setup menu, but for most pilots, the convenience and realism of a synced co-pilot is a big plus. The update is available for free for all current owners of the TDS GTNXI Pro, and your Garmin trainers will need version 20.42 or later, which is pretty cool. The other major update shows us that the TDS GTNXI Pro can now be integrated directly into Microsoft Flight Sim's 2024 default aircraft. No panel hacks, no third-party aircraft required. It's made possible with the new Sim Attachments feature, and TDS collaborated with community developer Mark FSX to deliver these mods with official support. The first batch of supported aircraft includes the 185 Skywagon, the 404 Titan, the 172 Skyhawk Classic, and also the Airbus H125. So you can actually get this unit into default aircraft, which is great news. Absolutely great news. More aircraft are coming soon, including the DA40, PC6, DV20, 152, Twin Otter, you name it. There's a lot more coming in there. So let's see what happens. Stevie B, good to see you, Stevie. Welcome aboard. Now we're nearly there, lads. Fly the Line, nearly ready. This is an upcoming career mod or career mode add-on for your flight sim. And, Fly the Line Short Haul Edition is being published with Just Flight, and they're hoping to get this out very, very soon. But basically, it follows the life of an airline pilot, right? So you have to manage things like, your health. You have to manage your home, right? How many flights you're going to be doing. It's a new take on, this sort of a comprehensive role play of being a real-world pilot. Flight dispatches integrate seamlessly with SimBrief. You can load up your aircraft at the gate. After each flight, you're treated to a comprehensive debrief. And beyond all the flying, so everything from your flying of how with late departure, early departure, how did you fly, where did you fly, all that's there. But then you have the life outside the cockpit, which is one of the most intriguing aspects of this program. For example, you can invest your earnings into your home, upgrade your sim pit, or even keep an eye on utility bills. You can see from some of the pictures here, I mean, they go into here's a breakdown, positive or negative, how your passengers got on, right? Your flight schedules, so you're given schedules for the week. You will fly to the following. That's what airline pilots do, right? But see this crack with your house. Look, you can build a house and kit it out. It's like The Sims, right? Something very strange. Character traits, health stats, fatigue, mood, even bank balance are fed into a more complete picture of your pilot's lifestyle. So this is coming out later this month or early in July. I'll be checking this out to see what the crack is. It's a new take on kind of simulating a real world pilot, right? It's an interesting thing. And yeah, Just Flight, I mean, these guys, Just Flight brought us Air Holier. So this is interesting as a, you know, single player mode. You want to pretend you're flying with a real world airline. They're going to give you all the routes. They're going to give you your schedules for the week. They're going to, you know, tell you what you can and what you can't fly, the times, and you got to kind of juggle all of that with your bank balance and your life and all this jazz as well. Interesting, no doubt. Looking forward to try that a little bit more. Now, we mentioned Spitfires earlier. AuthentiKit hardware. Saw this some time ago. Captain Spitfire put me onto these guys a long time ago. But basically, these guys were kind of 3D building modules for a Spitfire. This news is huge because it's been officially adapted by the RAF for Spitfire virtual reality training. They're now using AuthentiKit's hardware to train real-world pilots. How cool is this? It's a DIY approach for making your own flight sim peripherals, right? Specifically for that, for the Spitfire. The RAF has officially adopted a Microsoft Flight Sim based simulator equipped with AuthentiKit hardware as a formal training device. It's called the BBMF Spitfire Virtual Reality Trainer. It's a consumer-grade VR sim rig running Flying Iron Spitfire, which is also getting the remake, built with hardware that anyone can download and print. That same gear built by AuthentiKit founder Phil Hulme in his own video tutorials. Well, it's now in active use at RAF Coningsby by the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. What? Let that sink in. And this is more than just a cool story about simming gear. The Battle of Britain Memorial Flight includes some of the most historically significant aircraft in the world. Like Spitfires, you know, Lancaster, right? The machines are priceless. Training pilots to fly them safely is no small task. Initially created as a PR tool, the simulator quickly drew internal interest as a potential display training and emergency procedure platform. Squadron leader Mark Disco saw real-life value in its use for critical practice scenarios, and this kicked off a 3-year development journey between AuthentiKit volunteers and the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Among other tasks, the team added key emergency controls, including a nitrogen blowdown handle and canopy ejection system. The Flying Iron Simulations also stepped in to help fine-tune the flight model to better match the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Spitfire performance at standard power setting. Ooh! Here's a link to this video if you want to check it out. I'll share this with you. Because this would be well worth a watch, lads, right? Get into the chat there now. Anyway, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. So there you go. If you do have some of that gear, well, they're using it now. The Battle of Britain Memorial Flight are using the same hardware and aircraft and simulator to train real-world pilots flying those, you know, majestic airplanes. Now, as we wrap up the last couple of segments here, Next Level Racing have partnership with Microsoft Flight Sim, bringing a brand new ergonomic flight seat. Next Level Racing have teamed up with Microsoft Flight Sim to create a big fancy home cockpit styled seating setup. It does look the job. It's purpose built for Flight Sim and it's got its license to prove it. Officially branded by Microsoft Flight Sim, the rig was designed with all flight disciplines in mind: commercial, military, GA, even orbital excursions. If it flies, the cockpit is supposed to support it, and it's going to fit with all your normal use peripherals. I mean, it's going to work with your yokes, joysticks, you name it, rudder pedals, throttles, they're all there. And I've seen a couple of reviews of this. It's supposed to be great kit altogether. But bearing in mind, it is just the seat kind of frame platform. It's like a rig, but there's no motion with this. It'll do helicopters as well. Basically, if it flies, it'll work, right? The headline feature here, it's the all-new ergonomic flight seat. If you look at a lot of these kind of home cockpit or sim rigs, the chairs tend to be bucket seats from a car. It'll give you a numb arse in about 10 minutes. This looks very cozy indeed, including lumbar support. No armrest, but it still looks comfy, right? As expected, the cockpit is compatible with all major yokes, throttles and joysticks. Mounting options are already integrated, and the frame is reinforced to handle everything from twist of a side stick to the tension of a full yoke and throttle setup. The price for this gadget, $999 US. Let's that sink. $999 US. Now, you could say, well, hang on, a gaming chair is going to cost you probably $300. You're never going to have all the options of where you want to be able to put all your controls, keyboard, mice. They're all over the shop, right? So it could be the case that you, yes, have a PC somewhere, run a cable over and put another display, and for the €1,000, give or take, or $999 well, now you actually have a cockpit. You have a flight sim setup specifically for your flight sim. I know a lot of folks, maybe when they're flying, they're using a desk, the peripherals are up high, my gear is up high, I don't mind it, I like it there. But other people would like to have it a little bit lower, and then where's my throttle? And oh, hang on, the keyboard's up on top of it, and oh, I'm after knocking me cup of tea, and it's gone into my radio panel. And give all these challenges. So I do agree, these are really, really good pieces of kit. They just are, lads, right? The pricing, Jays, go back there. The pricing is a little bit on the, you know what I mean? It's up there, isn't it? £1,000 for a chair and that. I'd still fall out of it. What I do like about it, they've gone with the ergonomic design. It looks comfortable. They've added, I don't think it has armrests. They've added in, you know, that lumbar support. So, I mean, put it this way, if you were to get like a proper ergonomic office operator chair, they're about $1,000 just on their own, right? So maybe this is something that might complete your flight sim setup at home. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hang on a sec, I don't need to worry about desk space. I don't need to, you know, move around cameras or any of that jazz, or move around keyboards or computers. No, you can just throw it right into that location there and then. It's an option for you, right? An option for you. But anyway, just thought we'd mention that. Also now, as it's coming up to FlightSimExpo, we're going to be chatting to Brian here now in a moment from SayIntentions, who are going to FlightSimExpo. What's happening with FlightSimExpo? Well, this day next week, myself and Gibbo should be nearly touching down into Baston. And, well, there's a lot of stuff happening this year at FlightSimExpo, and you might be wondering what happens. On Fridays, they do all the announcements, and then on Saturday and Sunday, you get around the floor, you look at all the booths, you go and meet with all the developers. But in addition to all of that, FS Elite have their own stage, so they're going to be chatting to many different members of the community, including Miltech Simulations are there, Aerosoft are there, Navigraph, Meridian, so on and so forth. So as you walk around the floor, well, there's stuff happening on the stage. SayIntentions also have their stage, which is going to make this very interesting because they're going to be able to, you know, present to you different bits and bobs about what they're working on. More on that in a few minutes. So between Saturday and Sunday, FS Elite will be using their own stage, like what we saw at FS Weekend, if you guys watched that. And it's something quite similar, all right? Flight Factor are going to be chatting about the 777. That's going to be good. Toby are going to be there. That's going to be interesting. Meridian, of course, are going to be there. Fly-by-wire, talking more about the A380. And Forder Learn to Fly will be on Sunday at 1:30, chatting about the career mode of Microsoft Flight Sim, how it might be able to help everyone. So there's a bit of everything going on. The community stage seminars are all happening there as well. Saturday 28th and 29th, the likes of Rick Miller, Robert Sherman, Howard Forder, and Flight Shop. Steve is going to be there as well. There's over 8 hours of original content for the seminars are going to be there. And then, of course, with myself, Gibbo, and the lads, we're going to be running around on the virtual floor tour. We're going to be live streaming from the floor, myself and Gibbo, and we'll be bringing you up to speed of what's happening, keeping you updated. So we're planning to stream quite a bit. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening. Myself and Gibbo, we've tested out all our audio stuff, so very much looking forward to that. The Forgetful Larry has subscribed for 12 months, an entire year, Larry. Thank you very, very much indeed. Cheers, Larry. So yeah, that's really looking forward to Expo. And as I say, we'll be talking to Brian here now in just a moment. The full rundown, FlightSimExpo on Friday. You have the attendees check-in, you have the product reveals. Then there's a bit of a, you know, a social on the Friday night. On Saturday, you have the attendee check-in, and then 8:30 to 10 o'clock, morning coffee and tea, sponsored by SayIntentions. And then the exhibit floor opens at 9 o'clock, and it runs all the way through to 6 o'clock. And it's going to be the same crack then on Sunday. So very much looking forward to all of this. Can't wait for it, lads. Cannot wait for it. There's other add-on experiences happening as well. And I do believe Laminar Research explained they're putting a gig out on Friday, or is it Saturday night? They're doing a rave. Kind of mad. Now, staying with X-Plane, Mango Studios released Skiathos Airport for X-Plane 12. Mango Studio released their rendition of Alexandros Papadamtios, that sounded right, Airport Lima Golf Sierra Kilo for X-Plane 12. And it's looking very nice, where we have to say beautiful textures, reflections, and all the jazz. And it's now fully working in X-Plane 12. You can pick it up over on the xplane.org store for $17.99. right? Well, the X-Plane tends to be dearer, but now it's cheaper when it comes to sceneries, go figure. But that's available. Also, real-world scenery releases Grand Junction Regional for X-Plane 12. Their rendition of the Western Colorado Airport, Kilo Golf Juliet Tango, also available now in the world of X-Plane 12. If you're looking for some more interesting places to fly. This one is available over on Sim Market for $17.82. And the usual features when it comes to X-Plane sceneries. Takes full advantage of all the HDR, PBR, all the night lighting is in there, all the local vegetation is in there, and up-to-date airport marking, signs, all the jazz is there. Nothing about the interiors, but it does have some has interiors as well. Highly detailed buildings, as you can see from some of the screenshots here. Definitely looks the part. So great stuff there in the world of X-Plane. And the last bit of stuff here then, VATSIM events. This week, relatively quiet. There's a bit of stuff on, right? You have your F&O here. And what's else now? Saturday, I was looking at this one. The Northern Gateway. On the 21st of June, VATSIM UK and VATSIM Scandinavia team up for an unforgettable transatlantic trek, the Northern Gateway, and depart from the windswept runways of Vagar, we've done that, Keflavik, Bijani, and make your way towards Scotland's welcoming shores of Edinburgh and Glasgow. This could be pretty cool, right? Have a look at Shannon Tower. Have a look at EIA and Tanner. Speaking of VATSIM news, what's happening down there? Hang on, winter maps. Also, Adam Controls is going to be doing some VATSIMing over at FSExpo this year. Have a look at Shannon Tower. What are we looking at, Adam? Adam needs to tell us. Keep an eye out for something, Murph. Wink, wink. Ooh, come on. Who's controlling it? Wait now, is that you? It doesn't say who your name is. Are you 1680797? They don't need to know, sure. It's too late. Hang on. Is that Larry? Hang on a second. Is that Larry? Don't tell me Larry's controlling Shannon. Right, lads, immediately. Hang on, there was a name there, look. I thought I saw a name. No, it's not. It is Larry. Right, lads, international world fly-in has to happen. We're all going to Shannon. Larry, are you controlling Shannon? That's huge news. Brilliant news.
I put the car in swinger, baby.
Let's all go to Shannon. Marigin has gifted 5 gifted tier 1 subs. 5 months of this lunatic already. Jesus, Marigin, thank you very, very much indeed. Right, I'm keeping Brian waiting. That's not a good thing to do, so hang on a second. That is the news, friends. So let's go over here. And we do this live, so I'm liable to break everything. Let's see here now. As we press some buttons, at FlightSimExpo. Oh, yes, very good, very good. Nice, more Irish airports to fly in and out of. Absolutely. Right, I'm going to press some buttons. Let me see, one second, lads. As I press some buttons, I like to plan in advance, meaning I have nothing planned. Webcam fine. Super, press a button. We're pressing buttons. Hello?
Can we do it?
It's starting to work. Hang on now. I just need to press another button. What does this one do? Is it this? Wait now. Sure, would you look at this? Brian, a very good day to you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. How are you?
We did it. I'm live. This is so exciting.
It's modern technology and it's all happening now. Listen,
I love it.
I can only imagine how busy it must be now. I mean, a week and a bit away from Expo. I know you're going to be traveling down there soon. How is all in the realm of SayIntentions?
Oh man, well, Expo is I look forward to this event every year. We did it last year for our first time. This is our second time. I'm really excited about it. Really, for only one reason, which is that we get to hang out with you. That's the only reason we go.
That's the main reason. Nice.
That's it. No, there's no other reason.
Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you, the feeling's going to be mutual because, for FlightSimExpo this year, you're doing something a little bit different. So maybe we'll start there. Let's talk Expo, right? Where are folks going to find you? What's the setup like at your booth? What's going to be happening?
We got a bunch of things going on this year with Expo. They've been really kind to us. Evan and the others at FSExpo have always taken really good care of us. And this year we had A couple of interesting ideas. First of all, I'll just give you the rundown here. We'll start with the least exciting, which is that I'll be talking on stage on Sunday. No, I'm sorry, on Saturday
Okay.
for 45 minutes on the topic of AI and flight simulation, which is cool because as I look at the agenda for FSExpo, there's a lot of AI stuff there this year.
Mhm.
Last year we were kind of the only AI topic, but now there's lots of it going on, which is to be expected and exciting. So that'll be happening on Saturday. I'll be. We decided to sponsor the coffee this year.
Yeah,
We
coffee
were trying to
morning.
think of something that makes everybody happy, and coffee came to mind. So we figured for the folks that show up, we want to be the ones to buy you a cup of coffee every morning. So I'm excited about that as well. But the big change, the one thing that we're doing this year that Evan kind of talked me into it at FSExpo, and it actually it sounded really awesome once the idea started to gel. Is there's the main stage at FSExpo where they do the product announcements, and then they have the 45-minute seminars that are wonderful.
Mhm.
And then they have the FS Elite stage where they do some interviews and things like that with a lot of the content creators and those kinds of things. And we're happy to help FSExpo at a third stage this year, which is going to be actually in our booth. They gave us a nice big booth this year, and we'll have a good sized stage with AV gear and microphone and lots of chairs and things like that. And we're setting up. And they kind of gave us creative license to set up our own speaker agenda for that. We'll be publishing that here in the next few days, but that actually allowed us to do something. I think you've been banned from all of the other stages at various times, but we're not telling them that you'll be on our stage.
Grand, yeah, say
So
nothing.
we figured out a way to get you up there. No, I'm joking, by the way. Murph has not been banned from any of the other stages, but I'm actually really excited about this because we'll be able to get you up there. We've got a bunch of the other, a bunch of our other content partners who will be presenting up there. But this is going to allow us to get some topics in front of the flight sim community that maybe, weren't maybe big enough topics to make the big stage,
Mhm.
or do some mini sessions where you don't have to sort of commit to sitting down for an hour. You can kind of come and go as you please.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're going to use it to talk about some of our stuff, but by and large, we want this to be, by and for the community. What we want is for you to stop by our booth, and if this is what it takes, then that's what we'll do. So this will be really cool. So
Yeah,
for the first time, we've got a third stage going on at FSExpo this year.
that's exciting. And again, like it's a twist, right? Because I mean, I know last year very, very busy. FS weekend, very, very busy. And it does give folks the chance to ramble up and talk to you guys. But then also if you have folks on the stage, and it could be talking about, kind of features that are working on, dev updates and so on and so forth. But what about any sort of exclusive announcements or any reveals? I mean, are you guys working towards something? Are you kind of feeling there might be something happening, or we'll keep it quiet for now?
No, we've taken a break for the last year and stopped working on all things,
Sure.
and we just sleep mostly during the day now, and that's mostly what we do. No, of course, we're very excited about this because we we've been so heads down with traffic lately, and so heads down making this AI living world come to life. And man, we've come a long way with that. Are you showing our stuff right now, by the way? Is that what you've got going on?
All the aircraft on the
cool.
backdrop here, even though it's going around our beautiful Firefly Air livery, but all the other aircraft in the vicinity, well, this is all being powered by SayIntentions. I mean, we have full ground traffic. They're moving around. They're talking to ATC. They're communicating. They're moving the whole airport at Dublin. Right? It's very much alive. I mean, it is up and running, and
look at that.
It's
That's
accurate.
So cool. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Thank you for showing this. Yeah, so this is what we've been focused on. We have tons of most of our engineering resources. This is what we're working on. Now we're still improving our other stuff, and we got lots of other things going on. But this has taken the bulk of our efforts, and that is so cool to actually see this live. Most of my view of all this stuff is like Matrix style green code. So to actually see like airplanes. I'm the big, so it's good, buddy. Thank you for showing this.
Not at all.
No, so as a result of the fact that we've been so heads down on this, we want to get this right. This is such an important thing for us. It's an important thing for the community. This is going to be, such an enormous upgrade for so many people. That we have not been, on our normal release cadence of all these cool features all the time. So we actually have 3 announcements on deck for FSExpo, and I'm still deciding how we'll break them up, but I believe I'll be making all 3 announcements on the stage on Friday.
Nice.
They've got that announcement block set up where I don't know for how many hours, 5, 6, 7 hours or whatever, all of the creators sort of get lined up and everybody, maybe it's not quite that long. Don't hold me to that number, but all the creators get lined up and everybody gets kind of a 10-minute slot to get up and show their next big thing. I will be cramming 3 things into our 10-minute slot this year. One of them I'm very excited about, and the other 2 I don't think will be a giant surprise, but they'll be really important milestones for us. But one of them is going to have some cool factor with it that I'm very excited about.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that. And again, I mean, the beauty with this, with the booth, after your announcements on Friday, if folks have any additional questions or even maybe a bit more insight, well, come on over to the SayIntentions booth and you'll be able to chat to the guys there. And what about the team, Brian? I mean, it's got to be a big logistical move, right? I mean, you got to get your folks kind of into position. You have your setup. You got to set up your booth. It's not your first rodeo. I mean, you've been at Expo before, but what's that process like? Because, I mean, you got to pause pretty much some of the dev work now as you go into logistical mode. You need to move stuff, get into position, test your audio, your video, and all of that. What sort of a challenge? I mean, is that almost like a break, something different from the development work, or is it no? It's just more challenge. Crank it up to 11.
We're software engineers. We would much rather be writing code than moving crates of gear around. Yeah. It is an interesting challenge. There's all kinds of logistical challenges that go with this. Not just we need to make sure we have the right stuff in the right places, but also this affects our dev release cycles. It affects the availability of our support people because we're all busy, right? All of a sudden, my guys who are the team that's working on this is now getting on flights and moving around the country, and we have code freezes because if there's issues that get uncovered, critical issues that get uncovered during FSExpo, we're busy, right? And so we have code freezes, and all of this has to be baked into our release cycles. And then we've got people flying into one location from all around the world, and these shows are actually great for us too because it's the only time that I ever get to see our team in person. Right. There's literally no other reason that we would all be in person together. So that's fun as well. We all get to sort of be in one place and get to know each other, on that level as well, other than just seeing each other's text in Discord and things like that. We're kind of a no meetings style company. Everything we do is collaboration on Discord. Yeah. So the in-person stuff, because we're geeks, we hate that sort of thing. But this sort of forces us to do it every once in a while. And then, it's everything you said. It's all of the gear that has to be shipped and set up and timing and all the logistics that go along with that. And it's trade shows are they're a funny sort of necessary evil. We love all the good stuff that we get out of it. We love being able to interact with the community. I love meeting our customers. I love seeing people who are just as excited about what we're doing as we are, right? Mm-hmm. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm so excited to work on this stuff. And you know what fuels that? Seeing that we have customers who, when they wake up in the morning, are excited to use our stuff just as much as I am to build our stuff, right? That kind of stuff gets me going. And it's the only place we really get that sort of one-on-one interaction. And I can actually see the smile and I can see that people love this stuff just as much as you and I do, right? You probably have the same experience there.
Of course.
Yours has got to be similar, being able to meet people, right?
Of course, right. And 2 things, right? So I had a bit of a chuckle when you mentioned, code phrases. Because like for me, a code phrase is something's broken and I need a special word that will alert everyone on the team to know this this is what we need to do now, right? And it tends to be, you know, Excelsior or something. If I say that, the lads have an idea what I mean, right? And then the other code phrases would be when I break things, like have alerts go straight over people's faces during an interview. It's oh bother is another one, you know. But yeah, no, listen, I mean, meeting the community, it's by far the best experience you can get. Yes, you'll get all the news and updates of what's happening around you, but when you can actually meet with your community, be it that, you know, they're members of the community or they're just, you know, fellow flight sim enthusiasts, you can just chat about, well, what's going on with our beloved sims. I mean, you can talk literally for hours. You can talk all day, and everyone has a different kind of. Everyone has their own story that got them to there, which is awesome, and I love that. And I like the way that the stage is going to be there. There's going to be chairs there. It's a little hub, which I like, which is awesome. But something just to draw on as well. You know, you've mentioned AI itself. I mean, AI technology, it is moving at lightning speed. It really is. There's so many new things coming out. Seemingly everyone is able to do it and whatnot. But as a company, you know, as managing your company, how do you balance that kind of innovation? But, oh, wow, we can do this now. And yeah, we can do that now. How do you balance that with, I suppose, keeping the train on the tracks in terms of stability and managing expectations? Because that has to be so difficult, Brian, because AI is the only space that seems to be moving at maximum speed here. It's staggering.
Yeah, boy, well said. Because the carrot is constantly moving for us, right? And not the stick necessarily, but there's always that sort of next big shiny thing that we can be chasing. Just to give people some idea, every morning when I wake up, I have probably 7 different AI news sources that I go to every single morning, and some of them are, you know, more business focused, some of them are more tech focused, some of them are more startup focused. But I'll spend an hour to an hour and a half every morning, you know, just perusing the headlines. Now, I can't think of any other industry where you could do that every single morning for an hour and a half, and find nothing but new content every single day. And so my job when I wake up is to quickly sort of peruse this and divide it into categories like, you know, cool, but not interesting to us, right? Not interesting to SayIntentions or the flight sim community. Then there's cool and wow, that might become interesting to us. I need to keep an eye on that. And then there's a few of them are, wow, that's interesting right now, right? Interesting could mean it's a threat. Interesting could mean it's an opportunity. Interesting could mean, holy crap, we need to quickly redesign our entire roadmap to take advantage of this or to react to this. But, you know, those happen all the time. And again, I can't think of a single industry where we have to be so reactive to what's going on. Now, you brought up another point, which is, well, gee, you can only do so much of that before you start introducing instability. And part of the reason that our customers don't sort of feel that chaos as much, now in our early days, they did, for better or for worse, right? There's pros and cons to that. Not so much these days, because we've achieved a level of stability that I'm actually now really proud of. But oftentimes it's things like, hey, that's really interesting. If we could implement that, we might get a 10% improvement on our speech recognition for people in Norway. Right. So we'll look at that and go, wow, that's pretty interesting if we did that. Or, gosh, if we implemented that, we could drastically improve, you know, VFR in Europe. And so there's lots of things like that where we can sort of grab something and go, wow, that's interesting for this very specific use case. You know, should we do it now? Should we do it soon? Should we ignore it altogether and wait for the next iteration? Yeah, we're constantly making, you know, decisions like that. And honestly, it's the funnest part of the job, because I feel like I'm much better at being creative than I am at being like a really good engineer. But my favorite part of this job is finding those headlines and going, hey, I've got a really cool idea for how we could bring that new AI thing into our product to make it do something cool, interesting, or just to improve the fundamentals, right? That is the coolest part of what I get to do every day, in my opinion.
I love it. I love it. And even at that, like, I mean, look, it's a feature we kind of touched on here about a week or so ago. Folks, if they're having issues, I mean, we've checked out the Discord. We know how active and also how resilient your guys are on Discord, your team, because the response times are like...
Did you do a little secret shopper with him
No,
by chance? Jump
no,
in there and
I should have
pretend
done
to be a nobody.
I should have done the secret shopper. You know, Karen coming in. Hey, I got this problem. But no, it was a question that came up, right? I mean, if that's what makes SayIntentions quite unique here as well, and you know, we've dived into, you know, the checklist tuner, the taxi tuner, the tour tuner. These are all ways for the community to kind of, you know, self-build and fix and enhance their experience, because you're given the tools of how to enhance the things and fix things. But something else that I did kind of come across, and it was something that Marjan, I think, and also, you know, McCracken said, yeah, Murph, just give us your flight ID. Because I said, yeah, the guy, he wasn't telling me the right stuff. And it's as simple as, I mean, with the SayIntentions app open, I mean, top right-hand corner where it has flight ID, I mean, you've coded that to be, well, just click it. It automatically copies that ID to a clipboard. So if we have a support issue, click that, send that to the SayIntentions team. They can have a look and actually, I don't know, do you have access to like a script? But you can certainly see what way your system has interpreted what was happening. And it gives you then the tools in real time to say, yeah, okay, this is something we'll work on, or no, look, that's why this happened. I mean, that's genius.
So it became clear to us very early on when we were building this that if we didn't have the ability to, you know, in the very early days, the only way we could make progress was by watching live flights. Mm-hmm. So we would latch onto a flight, and then I would just sort of watch the debug info scroll through and go, oh, that's good, that's bad. Oh, it should have done this, it should have done that. And I was like, this is actually really effective. But we got to a point where that wasn't working anymore. We were just too big. So I said, what we need is the ability to actually record all of the flight details at a granular level. I need extremely detailed debug information on a flight if I'm going to go back and then sort of diagnose it later in terms of seeing what's wrong. And our whole team, you know, does this. Mm-hmm. So that flight ID is unique in our database. We keep all data for all flights voice data we don't keep around, but the underlying sort of logistical data we keep forever, because it's really useful for, you know, doing things like training AI models and things like that. It's actually the same approach that Tesla uses for making their AI smarter. Wow. But the point is, you can give us that flight ID, and on my keyboard I can type sort of one command and hit enter, and immediately up on the screen comes a map of your flight, and I can actually see on that map every spot where radio communication took place, and I can click it. And then on the other side of my screen is this enormous pile of debug information about why the comm took place, what was ATC thinking at the time. You know, so I sort of get a snapshot of the AI's brain at any point in time during your flight, and we can go, I see why it did that. Yes, it's wrong, or no, it was actually correct in this situation. Mm-hmm. And then we can go in and make adjustments. That's the heart of how we make improvements. Give me the flight ID, we pull it up, and then we can make, you know, adjustments, oftentimes right then and there. So I can't count the number of times we've had somebody come in and go, listen, I'm kind of mid-flight right now, and it's doing this. And we'll pull it up and go, oh yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. And we're not as good at doing this as fast anymore, but I would say a lot of times we can look at it and go, that's an easy fix. Try it now. Try it now. And they're like, wow, thanks, it works now. And this is part of I think we've talked about this before. It's a development model we call CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Mm-hmm. A lot of developers will take the fix, put it on a roadmap, establish a time frame for its release, and bundle it together with hundreds of other fixes. And you get these fixes maybe, you know, once a quarter or something. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. But we take a much more modern approach to software development because our entire product is in the cloud, right? We have a giant advantage in that we don't really ship code with these updates, other than just, you know, that little 30 megabyte app that's running on your PC. That we ship, but everything else it lives in the cloud. Mm-hmm. So when we want to make modifications and updates, we ship updates and patches anywhere from 5 to 30 times a day.
Wow.
So, you know, we're tooled for that sort of rapid response. And I know this is a long explanation, but it all sort of filters back to that flight ID is the genesis of our ability to do all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually, it's such a silly thing in the top corner of your screen that looks useless, but we're super proud of it.
And I think the importance here is, I mean, if as a user, I mean, if any user has a, you know, not expected experience, right? For whatever reason, maybe something went wrong, ATC asked you to do something wild or mad or crazy. This is a tool to help, you know, fix it. I mean, it's important that you feed this back to SayIntentions. And as we've said, I mean, the Discord responses are lightning fast. And it's like, hey, I had this experience. Is this right? And that's how you just click your flight ID. And then the team can go in, have a look and say, all right, yep, we'll fix it. Or no, it was correct. It's a great way to...
I think that...
To enhance.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, I think that not the difference, but one of the things that we feel like really sets us apart is we actually care when you bring us a bug report. Like, you bring us a bug report and our team looks at it like a challenge. Like, okay, we either have to show that it wasn't a bug and we did it correctly, and with that, the proof is on us, right? The onus is on us to show that. In other words, our first reaction when you say, hey, something went wrong is not, well, you probably did it wrong then, right? That's not our first reaction. Our team says, let's take a look. And because the entire team has access to all of these same tools, we can do that. We can say, well, usually it's easier to take a look than it is to argue with you. So let's take a look, right? Yeah. Again, when we discover the issue, we like to think that you know, we can respond to that issue relatively quickly. So not always, right? Sometimes we go, yeah, that's a complicated one. Yeah, I see what's going on here, but you know, we're going to have to put that one, you know, on the roadmap, and it's going to take a little bit of work. Other times, you know, if possible, we can do it quickly. But that's largely in thanks to the amazing team that we have. I mean, these guys are, again, you bring us a bug report, we take it as a challenge. It's also interesting that we take all the feedback that we get and quantify it. And what I mean by that is, you know, from my business days back before I got to do this full time, everything was about numbers, because that's the only way we can know if we're getting better or if we're getting worse. So at the end of every flight, you've seen it, I'm sure, there's a feedback survey that you can take. And when you click that, it asks about a few questions. You don't even have to fill in the comments. Just quickly give us some scores. How was your pushback? How was your en route ATC? How was the, you know, the arrival sequence? Those kinds of things. I am glued to those numbers. They're on my wall, like on a dashboard. And as those numbers are moving, you'd be surprised. I'm like, guys, average score went from a 4 point, you know, out of 5, from a 4.9 to a 4.8. Something's wrong. We've broken something. Let's go dig into it. And I drive my team insane with this. And just to give you an example, that final score that you give the flight, it's, you know, how was your flight on a scale of 1 to 10? I am glued to those numbers when they come in. And if we start getting an average score of less than about 9.7, think about that for a minute. If we start getting an average score on a flight of less than about 9.7, like for me, it's like all hands on deck. We have broken something. And so we're constantly driving to get those numbers up, constantly driving to improve. But that's largely because our team is so nice to take a minute and actually give us the feedback. Give us the, if something went wrong, we want to know. So yeah, I love that you pointed that out, because just that single little flight ID has such a
huge impact.
There's so much behind it.
Yeah, it's a huge impact. Yeah. Now, another side of the coin is, I mean, as you're kind of seeing the data, right? I mean, are you seeing kind of, you know, different trends now when it comes to the use of what platform, perhaps, or what folks are doing? You know, are they always flying the airliners? Is there more, you know, GA stuff happening? Maybe they're delving into helicopters a bit more. Are you seeing movement on other platforms like X-Plane, or is it predominantly Microsoft FlightSim? Like, anything changing, I suppose, over the last few months?
It seems to swing, and this is going to seem really obvious as I say it out loud, but it swings a lot with where we're pushing and deploying new features. For example, if we go out and make significant improvements to our helo functionality, we certainly see a jump in helo usage. It's funny you say this, because I just got finished saying how much metrics matter to us. I have an astonishing amount of data behind the question that you just asked, which is, you know, what are our pilots doing? What are they using mid-flight? I can even tell you which cabin crews are the most popular on a given day. You know, we have an insane amount of data on this. By the way, Murph, you're at the top, but you're losing ground. I'm going to need you to step it up a little bit.
I still have a job. It's grand. I'll work on it, right?
This will be in your next performance review. Don't worry.
Yeah,
No,
brilliant.
but yeah, but I would say, if you say, gee, are there any interesting trends or any new things emerging? Um, One thing that we see that's a lot of fun is anytime there's a new airplane or a new big thing that hits the community, we see a giant surge in the use of that. I remember when the A350 came out, it was like I looked at one moment on the A350, it was like 50% of our flights at one moment. I'm like, wow, that is a
Wow.
lot of A350 people up there. It's kind of fun.
Mm.
Same thing when the A380 hit. Um, and anytime there's a new toy, I could like turn off all the news on the flight sim community and have no idea that this new toy had launched. And just by looking at our data, I would go, huh, must be a new thing that launched today, because we're seeing this big shift towards this one thing. Yeah, we have dashboards with we know exactly. One of the questions is, do we know
Mhm, mhm.
what the popular airplanes are, things like that. Yes, I can tell you. Now remember, this is just our customers, and our customers are paying $20 a month to use this stuff, so they tend to be people who are spending a little more on the hobby maybe
Mhm.
than customers who aren't buying our stuff. But yeah, amongst that demographic, we can tell you all kinds of interesting things. In fact, Navigraph does their survey, every year, where there's lots of interesting insights. We've often thought, gee, maybe we should publish a similar set of data based on the usage that we're seeing.
Yeah.
But I've kind of avoided doing that, one, because it would be a distraction, and two, it's really only representative of sort of the upper tier of the flight sim community, which I'm not sure is totally fair to extrapolate on. So, but yeah, we see all kinds of cool stuff in the data now that we have so much activity on the network now.
It's great. Like, I mean, look, they're great, KPIs to help kind of steer the ship as well, and kind of give you the confidence when you move in a certain direction. I mean, you're getting the feedback. I mean, it goes beyond filling out a checklist, which maybe they just had a bad day and they decided, they clicked that box instead of this box. I mean, you're actually seeing raw data come across and what the habits actually are. So, it's pretty awesome to see that. I suppose moving on just a little bit, Brian, I mean, with the current state of the sim, right? The simming space, as we would call it. I mean, both 2020 and 2024 are approaching the dreaded sim update. I mean, for SayIntentions, is that a big head scratching moment of like, oh gosh, we need to be careful now? Or, do you guys get a little bit of time to delve in and say, right, okay, we can test things, they're working okay? What's that kind of process like?
I can give you a funny story about this. Merijan is in the chat room right now, and I had on my dev laptop. I did not realize on my dev. Usually, I'm very careful about this, but I did not realize on my dev laptop that's sitting next to me here that I was opted into the beta program for MSFS,
Mhm.
and we started things up one morning and just started going, and I said, dude, I don't know what you guys did last night, but all of the traffic injection is floating 10 feet off the runway, and it's all like hovering around the airport. What did you guys break?
Oh,
And
dear.
they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, mine's working fine. And so I make a video and I show it to them, and they're like, whoa. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. These planes were just like hovering all over the airport. And I was like, you guys have broken something. Anyway, it didn't get solved until I finally said, Tom, I don't know what's going on, Merijan. And he took over my laptop and said, I will figure it out. He like took over my machine. And he comes back about a half hour later and he goes, I guess Microsoft just released Sim Update 3, like the first iteration of Sim Update 3, and somehow you got it. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because thank goodness that's all it was, because we were like in full scale panic mode that something horrific was going on. I said, how come we don't have any customers reporting this? What is going on? Anyway, we found it. But that's kind of what it's like anytime Microsoft releases new versions of the beta. We actually do intentionally opt into those, and we do intentionally test our stuff. We found an interesting bug that's Merijan's going to correct me if I've got this wrong, but I don't think it's fixed yet. And this is happening to everybody, all traffic injectors across the entire flight sim community are experiencing this. Once more than about 50 or 60 airplanes get injected, the sim crashes to desktop. Like that's it.
Ooh.
That just a straight up CTD at the 50 or 60 mark, highly reproducible.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
Yeah, Amerigen is confirming that Asobo has finally acknowledged that bug. So
Ah,
we're hoping that it gets fixed. But yeah, it's sort of this constant, you know, pig wrestling thing going on as these updates get pushed out. You never know what's going to break in these updates.
yeah.
And pig wrestling probably is the best possible analogy I can get with it. It's dirty. You don't know what mood the pig is going to be in that day. It's it's wild. It's wild. It's no wonder that flight sim development is such a difficult thing to do. And I have to remind my team of this all the time when we hit these issues and we're like, geez, another bug in the sim. And it's not just Microsoft, it's the whole thing. We all know how fragile this stuff is. This is cutting edge tech. It's gonna be fragile. All of it is.
Mhm.
And the team's getting frustrated and gee, this isn't our fault. Why do we have to deal with it? And I'm like, guys, hold on. If this was easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly.
So the fact that it's hard is good because it means that, smart people can sort of rise to the top.
Mhm, mhm.
But I will say this to your viewers: flight sim development is not easy, and I say this coming from the healthcare world where nothing was easy. This is really hard to do.
Yeah, yeah. And it's constantly evolving, and I mean, it's kind of that, and it's a double-sided blade because I mean, you are at the bleeding edge of what's possible, and we saw that with this thin client that Microsoft worked on with Asobo to deliver everything by streaming, and they're kind of pedaling backwards a little bit. Sim Update 3 is showing we can download a lot more now locally, but it's kind of trial and error, right? I mean, it is evolving that fast, no different than what AI is doing itself, and to kind of stay abreast with that, and on top of that, not only to be able to forecast what's coming down the road, it's to kind of keep up with where everything is. I mean, I know you guys, you're working on multiple projects. I mean, the AI living world, that is the core function that you guys have been working on, but you've so many kind of additional blocks that are bolted on with Entourage and Skynet, SkyOps. There's so many different things there, and each of those, I mean, they all have a tiered release. I mean, that's how you would work it with kind of partners, and then what's available to other members, and then what's available or what will be available for free. So you kind of you've already built in kind of the controlled release. Right. I mean, you're not giving a product out to the masses to be inundated with issues. You're able to, I won't say soft release because they're not soft releases. I mean, the whole idea is you want folks to get in, experience it, but give you the feedback, and that's always vital here. I mean, you guys need the feedback. I mean, you have all the data showing you the trends, but you actively want feedback from not just customers, from everyone. You want folks to kind of say, hey, look, wouldn't this be cooler? I saw some comments there. One of the guys in the chat, Mr. Dan, they were asking, it's something that you commented on, hey, could we get SayIntentions to work with aircraft carriers? And I love the attitude of it's a great idea, right? Anyone else would be like, how am I going to, you're right. Do you know what I mean? So it's a cool way. It's very much a two-way street. And the more folks know about that, you can jump onto the SayIntentions Discord and have at it. I mean, the more folks know about that, the better, because it sparks the conversation. And it's refreshing to see that in this world of flight simulation, because developers have to be so very careful and protective about what they're doing, because it is volatile, because, as I say, the tech is new, it's quite fragile. But it is refreshing to know that, well, you can still have a conversation about it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and this is where, trust me, I get all the reasons why developers are tight-lipped and don't like to have those conversations. They have very good reasons for that, and I would never tell them they're wrong to do it that way. Mm-hmm. We sort of we're very lucky with the community that we have, who give us a lot of rope with when we are willing to have those conversations. And sometimes we'll bat around ideas that frankly never come to life or never work out, but they're very I credit our community with the fact that we're able to have those conversations, because they can be very painful if the community is not understanding or forgiving, right? Mm-hmm. And there are some subsets of the flight sim community that are not understanding or forgiving, and I wake up every day feeling very lucky that that's not our community. Mm-hmm. And you're right, it allows us to have some discussions that we could never have otherwise. It allows us to toy with some ideas that we could never toy with otherwise. It allows us to sort of throw in some concepts. Hey, let's kind of toss this out, see what happens when if we do it this way that's never been done before. And it gives us sort of a freedom to experiment that that I don't think many flight sim developers get. And so that's we're very lucky. That's all I'll say. And it's thanks to our community that we can do that. On the flip side, I do like to continue to, I love constantly challenging our team to sort of, react positively to that stuff and really take it in and go, look, they're trying to tell you something when they're making these suggestions. When they come in with ideas, they're trying to tell us what they're passionate about. And those suggestions, even the silly ones, there's data underneath them that I think is really important. And we try to capture that.
Awesome stuff. Well, Brian, listen, you're very good for taking time out of your schedule, and anyone who's going to FlightSimExpo, SayIntentions are going to be there. You're going to see the booth. They have a stage. I'll be hanging around because they're looking after coffee. And if you guys have any questions for the team, and just be sure to catch that the announcements as well on the Friday, and more information on Saturday. We'll definitely be around for a chat, of course, and just exciting things happening. And I always go back to, kind of your slogan or tagline. I mean, you're just getting started in all of this, and that's why it's staggering, because we can see clearly all the projects you're working on, and yet you'll still say, "Oh, we're just getting started." I mean, it's the beginning of what this is going to shape up to be. It's very exciting, man. It's
we're new. We feel like we're the new kid on the block every single day, and I really hope 10 years from now we still feel that way, right? But when we look at what we're doing now, we're just like, oh, there's so much that's just barely out of reach for us right now. And what we need is just a little bit. We need just a slight amount of maturity in these technologies before we can just start scooping this stuff in. I feel like we've been doing a good job at scooping things in anyway. But we hope that continues to accelerate, and we're excited about the future. And what I'm most excited about is that we've got people like you that smile just as big as we do at this stuff, who are helping to get people excited about what we're doing as well. So thank you for all you do for us as well.
Not at all.
We appreciate it.
Not at all, man. Not at all. It's great to see. It's progressive. It's exciting, and it's on that leading edge of tech. It's absolutely wonderful. So right. Well, listen. Prepare for logistics. Right. We get in on Wednesday. We'll surely see you around over the few days, and looking forward to the announcements, and looking forward to catching up. And for anyone else here in the chat, guys, if you've any questions you would like me to ask Brian when we're at Expo, or indeed the entire SayIntentions team, do let us know in the chat or on Discord. More than happy to ask the questions for you. And Brian, thank you so very much indeed for your time. I can only imagine how busy you are, but listen, it's as you say, it's all about relaxing now. The heavy lifting is done. You can totally chill out now. Nothing to worry about.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. Thank you to your viewers here, and I'm excited to see you in a week.
Sweet. Okay, you take care. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right. So that was Brian from SayIntentions. Wasn't that a bit of crack, wasn't it? Great bit of stuff there, and just always just refreshing when you're seeing they're so into what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yes, we're going to be bringing more and more. So as I said, lads, if there's any questions you would like me to ask, to SayIntentions, or anything you would like to be shown, be it in the sim or otherwise, well, just let us know. Now, in a few moments, we're going to be joined by Jonx from GotFriends. We have world premiere exclusive about to happen. But before we do that, yes, we're on the ground here at Dublin, and the traffic you can see around us, this is all injected by the upcoming SayIntentions AI Living World. It's still heavily under development right now, but you can see it's injecting in, for the most part, extremely accurate positioning of aircraft around Dublin. You know what I mean? The Ryanairs are down at the Ryanair stands, your internationals are at the international stands, and so on and so forth, which is absolutely brilliant, right? Now, another thing I want to show very briefly, right? Because this is pretty cool. You'll notice, I was talking about this app during the news, and this is this FSRAC. We'll show you this just briefly. And you'll see that we have some controls that auto detects the aircraft you're in, and you can kind of start pointing what audible interactions. What audible interactions do you want onto your aircraft audio panels, which is kind of nice. So for example, in the Phoenix A320, I've overridden what that main volume knob does, and via drop down, I mean, I can have that as vPilot if I'm on VATSIM, SayIntentions if I'm using their ATC, or others. Pilot Edge is there, FS HUD is there. You get the idea, right? The VHF Volume 2, I mean, I can have that as Microsoft FlightSim if I'm using FS Realistic, right? VH Volume 3, your internal, you can have that to GSX, for example. If GSX is too loud, you can turn those down. So with the buttons set up, right, if I scroll down here and have a look at them, if I activate this, right, now turn them down a little bit so I don't like deafen you. When I activate them and start increasing the volume, just have a listen. Or mute it, right? And of course we have SayIntentions up and running as well, so that's the sound of our ATC within the sim environment, and it's pretty cool. There's also another inbuilt feature. For example, if you have your main simulator settings on a VHF radio, there's a feature, it will automatically reduce the output of your whatever channel when you're getting a feed from a different channel. And the point is, in theory, this just turns down your simulator sounds to make sure you can hear your ATC sounds. Genius. Just genius. Now, it's a payware application. As I said, it's about $20. But you can see here, look at this, right? So you have this knobs on volume, you can use that. Keep on top if you want this panel to show up there. You can also control it manually, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Right? But see this one here, look, simulator volume auto adjust. Volume auto adjust by. So you can turn that on, reduce your volume by 75%, reduce it by 25%, I'd say. So it should be reduce volume to rather than by. But anyway, the idea being is if we get a live feed coming through on SayIntentions, and if we were to open up SayIntentions briefly, and if we tune into Dublin Ground 1 to 1.8, right? That's gone in there. And we give them a little shout. Dublin Ground, Firefly 235, radio check. Do you hear the sounds changing? When I press that transmit button...
852 Papa Charlie, Dublin Ground, Roger. Readability 5.
I didn't have to touch anything and it auto-adjusts my sim sound, both on a transmit and also a receive. That's extremely handy for VATSIM, because if you're flying fully immersed, there's all noise, ATC are giving you a call, be it from SayIntentions or on VATSIM, it automatically turns down your sim sounds. That's deadly. That's real handy, right? And of course, you can use these sliders here, or you can use the app itself to say, let's just mute that for a minute and play other sounds. It's pretty cool, right? Shout out to Gibbo Ireland for saying, Murph, will you check this gadget out? It is payware. SayIntentions kind of has this built in already. It's in experimental mode whereby the COM1 and COM2 can actually control the volume output from SayIntentions on the radio, right? They've already built that in there. But this little app kind of, it'll do your GSX, it'll do whatever ATC program you have running, plus your sim, FS Realistic, all that kind of stuff, right? So you can pick it up over on simmarket.com. That's the app. I bought it. As I said, it's like 18 euros or something like that. Thought it was pretty cool, right? And it doesn't have to just work with any aircraft. I mean, if you can't find the volume knob here, this app, so if you jump into like, a Piper Cub and there's nothing in it, well, you can still control it from the app. Handy, yes? Yes, Murph. Right, so what we're going to do now, we need to jump out of this machine here now. Look at this. And we're going to go back to the main menu, because next, friends, what we're going to show you is a global premiere. As we'll just close down SayIntentions for this one, because I want to load in an aircraft. And as I said, we're going to be joined by Jonx here now in just a moment. He's in there now. Where is this now? Brilliant. As we press the buttons, we're gonna be joined by Jonx here now in a moment, but I want to show you a trailer, and this is a global preview. This hasn't been seen before. We're going to play the trailer here now in a moment. I just want to load in this aircraft. Now, the aircraft we're talking about, lads, is none other than a machine called the, I can't pronounce, is it Schweitzer? But anyway, it's an AS-33ME. It's a glider, right? But no ordinary glider. The ME part of the name, it's a self-propelled glider, meaning it has its own engine, right? Now, in the real world, this sort of equipment, between you buy the trailer, you know, you get the avionics, you can go for the longer wingspan or the shorter wingspan. They're interchangeable depending on, you know, competitions and stuff. It's about the price of a fully kitted out Porsche 911. Brand new shampoo, right? So they're not cheap. However, they're a great machine. And there's a lot more that GotFriends are going to be chatting to us about beyond this particular glider, right? So here we go here. So we have the 15 meter or the 18 meter. So we're going to go with the, can't remember, I think it's an 18 meter. We'll go with this. And I'm just going to pop us over here to a little place out in Germany, I think. And we're going to load this in, and as I said, we're going to have a chat with Jonx here now in a moment. So we'll start off over here at parking, right? And we'll have a look at this. Now, anyone has any questions? 100% pop them there into the chat. And if you guys have any questions during the next segment, please ask. I'm reading the chat as well, and we'll try to get your questions if I can. So it's more than just an aircraft preview. It's kind of like GotFriends are telling us what's going on with all the projects, and it's very, very exciting. So we do have some information to go through as well, right? The question is, PH Apps, can I fly gliders? I gave this a bash, and you know, it wasn't too terribly bad, right? It wasn't too terribly bad. So I just want to make sure that my views and all are set up, which they are. We're going to disengage everything here, and we're going to open up this little puppy here, and up. How do we open that now? Jonx, how do you open the gadget? Is it that? No, that's not it. Leave that now. Don't break that. How do we... There is a switch for this. Oh, look, I didn't know you can do that. Right, leave it alone before we break it. This is the glider, right? Absolutely beautiful. But we're going to dive into this a little bit more now in a minute, right? You're hitting jettison. Oh, I am too. Shh. See, look, I won't press anything, right? That's how you jettison the canopy, not open it. That's how you open it. It's all right, I pressed the wrong button. Now it is lovely. Ah, look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? Now, as I said, we're going to do a thing first. I want to show you guys a trailer before we get going here. This is a world exclusive. Hasn't been seen before. So I want you to sit back and enjoy this one. And well, let me know what you think. So, shh. Quiet now. You in the back sit down. We'll have no noise now, please. We'll disappear this for the immersion, right? For the immersion. And I'm going to just calm down the alerts as well, lads, if you wouldn't mind terribly. And let's see how we get on with this. I mean, would you just look at the state of that, right? Beautiful trailer we just saw there. Shout out to Aviation Lads for putting that one together. Absolutely stunning. But there's far more to this than just a glider. There's something very new, and there's also a ton of new functionality that GotFriends have been working on. So without further ado, I'm going to press that button, then I'm going to press this, but I hope this works. Hello? Oh wait, it worked. Wait now. Oh, there he is. Good.
Hello.
Hang on. Wait till you see this now. Hang on. We're going to press the button. Ah, look. Science. It worked. I didn't even need to change anything. Jonx, you're very welcome. Dude, how are you, man?
Good. Just thinking about Black 17s.
Right, go on, Black 17. That's all you'll ever need when it comes to roulette. Yes, it'll be happening. Providence, they'll know all about it. Jonx, it's great to have you here, man. I mean, it's things have been a little quiet with GotFriends, which is usually a good sign because it means you guys are busy, you're working, you're doing stuff. And, well, with the upcoming release of this aircraft for both platforms, 2020 and 2024, just next month, that's what you're aiming for, there's a lot of stuff gone into this. So, and then there's more. I mean, there's the month of July, soaring for July.
Always more.
Right?
Yeah.
So, no, so let's start off with this project. I mean, not your first rodeo, right? You guys have done gliders before, the Discus, of course. This one, and first party stuff, but this one, this is your own, right? Let's get in there and figure out all of this together. And I like the options of having both the different wingspans on this, which I thought was pretty cool, as old mate walks through the wings there, but sure, that's flight sim, lads. Why this project? I mean, what got you involved here?
Well, so the Discus 2C was our first foray inside premium gliders in the sim. And that was a long time ago. That was actually my first project I ever did. And then when we got together as GotFriends, I think that was our third project they would ever tackle as a team. So it's been quite a long time. Now, we've done regular updates on it, but for the most part, it was just the same thing in the background. There wasn't too much new with it. We just made sure it was maintained with the new sim. Then we were, of course, contracted with Microsoft to bring the STEMI S12G and the Taurus M to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So we got back into gliders. And with the help of B21, you guys probably know him as Ian Lewis in the community. He helped us completely rewrite the avionics systems. The first iteration of that was shipped with 2024 with our gliders. And we knew that we could expand on that and kind of bring more realism. And get compatibility working a lot more with what the glider community expected of the gliders today. And after we did that huge accomplishment, we decided it's time to bring another glider to the field and take everything we've learned over the last 4 years and with this new sim and just go for it and make this the most realistic glider, I think, in any flight simulator, not just Microsoft Flight Sim. There's very few and far, and the fidelity of this one has kind of blown me away. Our 3D modeler, Micro, did an amazing job. 270 textures, fantastic, and got gravel. I mean, he's a wizard when it comes to flight dynamics, so he was able to really put in full effort to make this what we're calling an expert level glider. So this is going to be probably a step up considerably from the Discus 2C, but as we'll probably discuss later, there's more news with the Discus 2C coming as well.
Absolutely. And like, as you've mentioned, right, an expert level glider. I mean, I've never come across an expert level glider. I mean, for me, I've struggled with gliders only, it's to keep the things airborne. But then you realize, well, there's a bit of a science to fly them, but it's not rocket science, right? I mean, you figure out thermals and all this sort of jazz, and you're going to have a relatively good day. The fact, though, that this is self-propelled, and I know the real world variant of this, I mean, you can buy it without the engine, right? It's just a soaring glider, and that's it. Or indeed, you can get it with the engine variant. This is something very, very different. And I use this phrase not an awful lot, but a lot in the last few days, right? Nothing else flies like this. That's the experience I've had just getting to play with it over the last couple of days. I mean, nothing flies like this. It puts a smile on your face because you feel rewarded when you start getting things right. It's like, I survived another 5 minutes of airtime. And I don't know what it is, but the sounds are on point. As you say, it is visually stunning. The animations even, because I was saying, how am I going to get this into the air? And then, like, you know, Transformers comes alive. And the features now that you guys have built into this, I saw this before with the Warbird you did, but the F4 or the F4F, not the one, like, it had so much stuff going on there. It was like, hang on a second. I mean, that wasn't that the first that had, like, you know, visual weapons and, you know, tracer shots and all this kind of stuff, flares going off, just incredible stuff. And we saw that even with your first party releases with Microsoft. I mean, you know, dynamic livery changer live from within the sim. I mean, you guys are really pushing, but you are, like, you're pushing the boundaries of what can be done. This, I mean, the level of customization, you can really make this feel like it's your own very aircraft. And we'll get into the avionics and how we can move the dials, what we want, and how can we, you know, really get this aircraft to feel like it is our own. Well, I don't want that dial there. Let's move it over here. I mean, these are features I would love to see, you know, across the spectrum when it comes to some of the aircraft, particularly general aviation, because not one aircraft is identical to the next. Something's different somewhere. And you can definitely do that with this glider.
Well, and when it comes to that technology, which is extremely powerful that you're mentioning, it's all ran through that LX family, which is like backbone HTML. And so we spent a lot of our time collaborating with Ian, getting this sorted out just perfectly. So it's a mixture between the avionics of gliders and then specific airframe. But we wanted to make this universal. We wanted to put these avionic systems in every glider. We want other developers to reach out to us and integrate this system into their gliders. And so we had to create the system so that it can be universal plug and play, that any developer can determine the messages, determine the instrument slots, determine what it does if they want multiplayer towing or anything like that. So it's very universal, to the fact that we actually are considering putting it into the Wilga in the future, so we can have instrument swapping on the fly, so that we can change our avionics without having to load into multiple variants, where we can have different radio setups. And like you said, putting customization into the dashboard, because we're already doing that through a bunch of variants in the Wilga, but it'd be nice to have it all in one place where you can change it through a tablet.
Yeah, and like you mentioned something there that I'm sure like half of our guys are going to be like, what did he say? Multiplayer gliding, meaning you can get your buddy to actually tow you along in real time and in the sim. You can be in the glider, they're in like a Cessna or whatever, and you've managed to make that work.
Yeah, this is a feature we brought with the Discus way back in the day in 2020. Of course, things changed over time. It started getting more buggy and more chaotic and less stable. But when we revisited all this, we revisited FLARM, we revisited multiplayer towing, we made checks to the WASM that's controlling all that and ensured that it's compatible with both sims. So it's working as good as it will work. Now, is it as realistic as a real tow? No, you're not really accounting for the weight on the back of an aircraft. So your buddy has to really fly cautiously at that point. But these are things that I think that we can probably add to the future, like detecting what kind of aircraft's pulling you. And there's things that we can do, but these are more update items in the future. We just want to get the ground bones. As you can see, my lights are flashing in the background here because we have a huge thunderstorm in Florida. So if I just drop offline, continue without me. But for the most part, I think it's okay right now.
The challenge is real, absolutely. Now, you've mentioned you're working in official partnership with Stefan Langer, a two-time world glider champion. What was that like?
Absolutely. It's incredible. So we've been corresponding with him, email back and forth. He's loving everything he sees. Right now, he's currently at a glider competition, another a world trek going on there. So when he gets back, we're excited to see his inputs on the new build. Love the trailer. We sent him that. He approved his livery, which we tailored really carefully through his input to make sure that we're really kind of delivering his personal touch to this aircraft as well. So it's been a great experience. He's a great glider pilot, brings a lot of experience, and we're excited to see kind of how that moves forward with him.
It's quite incredible because, I mean, any sort of real world feedback is great, but from a two-time world champion, I mean, he's going to tell you exactly, the do's and don'ts when it comes to stuff, right?
Absolutely.
It's sweet.
And we try to be like, hey, this is a simulator. No, I'm kidding. We'll really try to listen and get that feedback as well. So
yeah. Right, well, sure, listen, starting off with the aircraft itself in the cockpit, right? And before, I jettison the canopy, we do have some kind of GotFriends telltale marks. I mean, the quality in here, the texture work, everything is absolutely on point that we're used to seeing. Even the seat, I mean, like, the modeling of seat belts, the harnesses, it's a absolute beauty to behold. I mean, it's done so very, very well. And you might say, well, yeah, okay, look, I mean, there's certainly less moving parts when it comes to a glider. But with this thing, well, that's not the case. I mean, you have ballast in there, but it's not your standard kind of ballast. You have things like, canopy ejection. And then that's before we even start looking at the avionics that you guys have built in. I mean, it's quite staggering just how much tech can be in a glider. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's an absolute ton in this thing. I think that this is why we're calling it a flagship release for our team, is the amount of tech is unreal. Packed into this tiny one-man cockpit, I mean, we have almost as much technology in here as an airliner. Like, there's so much stuff going on.
It's absolutely nuts. And then you've added something else, which I thought you were messing, and then I read up on it. You have what's called contamination. Right? And I was saying, what does this switch do up here? A bug wiper. And I'm expecting like a windscreen wiper. No. That's to clear contamination off the leading edge.
Now, I do want to say that this was the hardest animation that I've ever done in the history of any aircraft that we've ever accomplished. Because not only are we tracking wing flex, which is already hard, but you can see the wing doesn't perfectly just go straight, right? It kind of curves as it goes out the edge. And so as these bug wipers are tracking along the wing, they have to be in 3D dimensional space. They have to track the leading edge of the wing. They have to track the up and down movement. They have to track the left and right movement, as well as moving forward and back throughout the wing and making sure it's working with the current wing flex position. It is the most insane thing I've ever got working in a sim. And I'm not surprised that no one else really does things that move along the wing in the sim, because this was an absolute nightmare. Now that we have this technology and example, we can move forward with other gliders doing this in the future. But my goodness, that took me, just the bug wipers, I think was a 2-week venture. With great power comes great responsibility. I mean, active bug wiper. I mean, right? Where does the future go with this? And it is functional, which is quite incredible. And of course, the animations. Look, everything here is on point, and it is a beautiful looking aircraft for a glider. I mean, it's modern, it's new. The wing flex is something to behold, because it not only follows physics, but as a pilot or a glider pilot looking at this, you know the current state of the aircraft if you're climbing or descending based on what the wings are doing. I mean, you can clearly see, oh wait, I'm climbing, or oh no, we're descending here. And that's without any sort of audible alert that's going on in the background, which is pretty cool. And we've gone so deep into these features too. When it comes, like you were saying, just the bug wipers, it's a really cool animation. But we're trying to aim for this expert level. And so there's so much that goes in there. In 2024, we're going to have visual bugs on the wingtips that you physically see cleaned off by the wiper. We have surface contamination and grime toggles, where the more bugs, the more rain, the more dirt and grime that you get on your wings do affect your drag performance. And so if you're flying lazy and you're not cleaning your wings, you're going to feel that over the course of your flight. If you're cleaning your wings, then you're going to have better performance. And these will all take into account when you're doing like competitive gliding, which a lot of guys in the community do. But we also added on top of that layer the option to turn all that off. Maybe you don't want to deal with bugs and drag and all that. Well, we'll give you a toggle. You can just toggle it off if you don't want. So we've made sure to really pack it. That's just one little feature, and see how far it goes. And every single thing is like that in this glider. It's pretty impressive.
Like, I mean, the detail of the LED light strip in the back, I mean, like, it's, you know what I mean? It's stunning. And I've watched Kando fly gliders before. It's something I haven't spent a lot of time in, but man, it's so rewarding. I think Two Cats as well. Like, he flew the length of England in a glider, which was just nuts. But This variant, of course, I mean, we're in Flight Sim 2020 at the moment. It's just kind of where things are being built. And I'm sure with 2024, there's probably a couple of quirks you guys need to be working on. But rest assured, the aircraft is coming out on both platforms. So, you know, you choose your favorite one when it comes to glider flying. 24, I'm sure we'll have, you know, a few advantages there with the flight model and wind and everything else, because we know so I've dialed in some extra features, in particular kind of wake turbulence and stuff. But
yeah, we expect there to be kind of hiccups on release 2 with 2024. For example, in the trailer, you probably saw sometimes the wing flex was off. That's because that's a well-known bug in SU2 that they fixed in SU3. But since it's not stable, and we might be releasing this between it here and SU3, so people may deal with some wonky wing flex for a little bit until the new update comes out. But these are all things that we can't fix on our end. They're core sim issues. So you're going to have some wonkiness in a new sim, but for 2020, it's very polished. You'll expect what you get.
Sure. The aircraft also features a full WI sound set. I mean, it's far and beyond just avionics. The sounds are there from the aircraft itself with that electric motor, and then of course you've managed to get all the interior sounds. I mean, which are most important, because you can. It's almost at the stage you can almost start feeling that wind kind of hitting the other side of the aircraft, which is it's absolutely nuts. I think what we'll do, right? We're going to fire up some sounds here, and I want to make sure I have sounds, because I think this gadget isn't working, right? So there's our sounds.
Turn rack all the way up.
So I mean, it's where we are. We're out in Germany. This is a glider port, and we have some batteries. So we'll start off with some batteries, I suppose. And you're immediately greeted by this LX system, the GotFriends, the B21 avionics. Tell us what's going on here. I mean, this isn't your standard avionics set. I mean, this is something you've built, and as you've said, you would like this included in other developers' products. I mean, they can lean into GotFriends now and say, hey, see that thing you made? That would make my life very easy. I mean, it's kind of like the working title answer to the GNS equipment, or the GTNs, or the G1000s. But this goes further because it's highly customizable.
Yeah, and we kind of introduced this in 2024 with the STEMI and the Taurus, but this whole new system is way more advanced. It's going into the AS33, and this will be in the Discus update. This will also be in the Taurus and the STEMI moving forward. In SU4, I think we're going to fit it in. I don't think we can fit it in SU3. But this is a very powerful unit now, which is universal for everything. So to walk you through some of it, and there's so much to go into, so I'm not going to bore you with everything, but what you're touching right now, that's the map knob. We've included multiple maps between Google, Bing, National Geographic, topography, satellite. So you can change your map layer depending on how you want, and then all your overlays will stay on top. The next button is north up, or orientation, so you can always change between pointing track up or north up depending on your flight style. The thermal tracker is the next button. That one turns on your kind of breadcrumbs trail, so as you're flying and you're getting lift or sink, you're able to see kind of like a dot graph that will kind of tell you either through green or red dots, hey man, this is an area where there was good thermals, maybe I should circle back over to this area and start spiraling up.
Nice.
And try to gain more altitude. The McReady, you got the plus and minus there, as well as the knob does it on the barometer. Those are just optional buttons. Zoom, page, which we'll talk about last. Don't go there yet. Task, which goes between your task and your main map. And so once you have a flight plan loaded, which you can do through the sim, you can do through 2024's interface, or what we recommend is doing it through B21 Logger, which was developed by the same guy who helped us develop this gauge, or primarily developed this gauge for us, and he's added that compatibility in there. So that adds really advanced stuff to this, which has altitude waypoints, it has speed radii, calculations for entry gates and stop gates. So there's so much more that you can do when you're importing a custom flight plan, like through B21. So that's the method that we're going to recommend and that most people use. Then of course you can adjust your brightness. The grid options are really cool, because if you're getting cluttered, there's so much on the screen, you can always hit that grid button and hide everything. And so you can get a quick view at the map. Maybe you got some thermal hiding behind some overlays that's hard to see.
Yeah.
And then waypoint is when you actually have a task loaded, you can switch between waypoints on the knob. So you can go to waypoint 1, you can switch, hey man, I'm not going to make it to waypoint 2, my friend's way ahead of me. Switch to waypoint 3 and start flying towards waypoint 3, and we'll direct you towards waypoint 3 to bypass number 2. So there's a lot of stuff kind of going on here. Not only that, on top of that, it's calculating all these things and displaying it to you. So now we can go into the page, and I don't know which way you're going to turn, so we'll see where you go.
I'll go to the right, but just with the grid as well. I mean, this is showing a lot of useful information. I mean, we have airspeed, we have altitude, we have your task time and speeds if you need, right? So how long should I be at that? When will I get to my next waypoint or whatever? You know, your speed, waypoint distance, airspeed, like there's temperature, right? It's all there, all on this screen. So I mean, that can be your main focal point. And you know, if you're looking, or focus point, I mean, again, you're considering VR users here as well. I mean, if they want, I mean, they just, that's all they need to see. Everything is going to be on that screen for them, and between what they see here and the audio cues they're going to get if they're climbing or descending, it's all going to be there. So with the page, I'm going to go to the right.
And I do want to throw out here, for all those gurus out there who have hardware laying around the house, we have made it so that every button, every knob on all the systems in the entire cockpit have their own dedicated hotkey within the sim.
Nice.
So you're able to use any knob to adjust these. So you can just pop the HTML out on whatever bezel you have, and you can start working from there. So
sweet.
It's a pretty big feature that a lot of people will like.
Right, we're going to roll to the right and see what happens, right? So the first page, global settings. Ooh, right.
Yep, so this will just adjust your unit of measurement. So as you can see here, if you click on one of those speed or climb, it's also switching the gauge out. Nice. On the aircraft, because this is switching between metric or imperial. And so a lot of glider pilots like this, most of them fly in Europe, some fly in the USA, and some aren't really familiar back and forth. Or even crazier, I've seen some pilots that fly with imperial altitude but metric speed. And so it's kind of all over the place there. So this gives full customization, and this will change it not only within the LX, it will change the gauges on the dashboard, it will hook up to the barometer to make sure everything's good there. All of your overlays on the gauge will be completely changed. All the calculations will be swapped over. So it's doing major internal changes when you're doing these unit swaps.
Sweet.
The theme which you touched, just light to dark, nothing too crazy, just whatever your eyes prefer. Mm-hmm. The request launch, if you hit it right now, it will go ahead and spawn an AI tow plane in front of you. It will notice that the cable's connected. He probably won't be taken off here because it doesn't look like he's on a runway nice, straight, and level. So he'll probably start going forward and veer off and then disconnect. So it's not worth it. But this is how you can quick spawn in a Sobo tow plane if you land on a runway and you kind of want to do that. Okay. You can go ahead and pull the cable release now, which is on your left bottom side by your flap lever, to disconnect from him, because we're not going to be doing that.
Is it that guy there? No,
it's the yellow lever.
Yeah.
You can kind of reach it. There you go. Yeah. The next one is multiplayer tow. You'll see it's highlighted in red. Mm-hmm. Once you click that, if it becomes highlighted in green, which you can try right now, it will connect to something. So there's an object. It's probably connecting to that Cessna in front of you. Mm-hmm. And this is as close as we can get. We can't really choose to connect to just airplanes. It's connecting to any object in front of you, whether it's a car, a bus, a bear. So you need to you need to make sure that if you have a friend, that make sure they park it in front of you and they're the nearest thing in front of your aircraft before you hit connect. Once you've hit connect and it highlights screen to let you know you're connected, you'll see the cable kind of fall out to the side of the glider. Yeah. And they can start towing you into the air, which is an extremely fun feature. We've had times before where we have someone connect to an aircraft and then people connect to the glider and another person connects to the glider, and we create a chain of 5 gliders getting pulled up by one really powerful aircraft. Kind of fun. The weird things you can do with this, you can go Spider-Man mode. We put no restrictions. You can catch a plane midair if you're good enough. So,
someone's going to try a bear, man. You just know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, we've done the cross cart. Pulled her up really good. Nice. So we've made sure to leave no restrictions on that. Not only for the bug free, we don't want to have weird bugs of realism that's coming in and people saying, "Hey, why did I connect to a bear?" Yeah. But we just want to give people freedom too, so nice. They can have fun with this as well as they want. And then the last button, which if you touch, is reset settings. That will reset your entire avionics setting and your persistence setting. Okay. So you shouldn't hit this if you've already configured your cockpit the way you want and your buttons and your units, because as soon as you hit that button, everything goes to default and it clears your cache basically.
Okay. Okay. Sweet. Very straightforward. Next page are the aircraft settings, and we'll start off headphone simulation. It just works.
So headphone simulation on or off. There's also a mic in the air or a switch in the aircraft. You can see when you toggle that, so you could always use that without going in. Contamination drag effects is what I was talking about with the bug wipers. That will put dirt, bugs will affect your drag performance. Same with the rain. Flight stick visibility is important, obviously, because there's that engine display down there. So a lot of people are probably going to fly with that hidden the whole flight.
Yeah.
Canopy tints, kind of fun. We a little nod to Steven Langer. He has a nice canopy tint on there, so we made sure to include his canopy tint as an option.
Nice.
Oxygen system just puts the oxygen system in the back. It also, you'll hear it activate when you're above 10,000 feet. So there's some realism with that aspect as well.
Sweet.
You can also turn the knob to activate it manually. So
nice.
We made sure to include everything in there. Yaw strings. Some people don't like flying with yaw strings. I think it's the most important instrument in the glider, but we've given you the option to hide it in case you want to clear canopy. And then FLARM display, same thing. A lot of people don't really care about the beeps and boops. And so we've given you the option to hide the whole FLARM display. And if you don't know what FLARM is, that's your kind of anti-air awareness. So it's kind of like TCAS. So it will tell you when there's a threat in your immediate area. It will point to the bearing of the threat and then high or low, and then really start beeping fast and fast if it's imminent. So it's really cool to see that work in multiplayer when you're flying with friends and you got a bearing shooting out behind you at level and you're like, hey, someone's joining me up in flight, or they're catching on me for a competition. So it's a real nice piece of equipment to have.
Nice.
The sliders, adverse yaw, you can, we've made this thing fully customizable. Like I said, we have not skipped on any of this. You can customize how much adverse yaw you want up to 100%. You can go past that. If you want to go to 200%, what a regular glider does, you can.
Nice.
Avionics brightness slider there. Ballast level can be adjusted on the fly. Surface contamination level. And then that will, like, if, for example, if you turned off your surface drag, it will just drop your contamination to 0. Because at that point, you're just not being affected by it. In the future, you're going to see stuff, especially 2024 bugs and stuff as you slide that up, dirt, bugs, and grime. So, yeah, pretty powerful setting. And like I said, this is all universal. So these are things developers can simply just type into a panel XML, and they can put this system into their aircraft with their own needs.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And it's unlimited. If I added more than this, there's a scroll bar pops up, and you can scroll down through as unlimited settings as you want. So
that's awesome.
And I'm sure you mess with this.
So
Go ahead.
So when I first played, I thought I broke it because I was like, oh no, I can't, right? So basically each of the slots, I mean, you can't have the same everywhere, right? But each of the slots is going to say, okay, well, here's the slot. So if I want to change something, let's say, for example, I just want a compass, right? So unclick the Vario, bottom left-hand corner, and just click a compass, boom, the compass goes there. And you'll notice now that the compass that was here is gone, so I can put that somewhere else. So, I don't know, what can I use in here? What's not in use now at the moment? Well, the Vario. But basically, you can move this around. You can completely customize this to whatever way you want it. I mean, they're your 6 instruments. It's up to you where you want them located. I do like this.
Yeah, it's a very powerful feature. A lot of people have asked for it. So we decided to incorporate. It was kind of a coding nightmare because you got to do checks to make sure an instrument's not duplicated or anything.
Yeah.
So, but no, it turned out really powerful. And we really think a lot of people will enjoy that, to be able to put instruments where their eyes, where they desire, especially when it comes to VR.
Right, and for the whole role playing, I just got my new AS33ME. Oh yeah, did yours come with the LXV? No. You missed out, man. Right? Do you know, I mean, it gives you those options. Because in the real world, I mean, when you configure this aircraft, you rock up to AS and you're like, hey, I want this. I mean, these are the add-on prices. I mean, do you want a cup holder in your car? Like, this is the extra stuff. I mean, yeah, you're going to need some basic things in there, but...
We'll add a point unlock system. The better you fly, you can unlock another gauge.
Brilliant. Yeah. Fly inverted, you unlock the radio. Perfect. Yeah, I always wanted that. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. But yeah, I like the way there's no tinkering, there's no pause or stutter. It's just click it, boom, it's in there. And I like it's great. I mean, you have that customization. I mean, you can set up the aircraft visually inside what way you want it, and then of course, then when it comes to the handling, it's great effort here. I mean, it feels like it's going to be your own aircraft. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's what we kind of went for with the Norden in 2024. We wanted people to make it their own.
Yeah.
And it's even more so with gliders. Usually when people go buy a glider, it's very personalized. We wanted to give them that experience as well.
It's awesome, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I think that's it then, isn't it? Oh no, we've all this. Oh yeah, I got.
This is the most important page.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, there's nothing important here. Move along. Right, what are we looking at? Because this is where you can really edit that grid that we were looking at.
So if it says in the middle, you can double click on anything in one of those gray boxes and it will turn red striped, which means it's hidden. And you can go ahead and single click on something like a red box and assign a value to it below. And these values are very detrimental to glider pilots, whether it's your airspeed, your ground track, your McReady setting, your task speed, your trim, your flaps. And these become quick references so that when you go back to your map page, it's how the screen is displayed, exactly how you set it up. And the bars will adjust automatically. You can hide multiple things. Like if you go back, there's ones you can click on, like the knob button labels, the waypoint names, the waypoint direction arrows. You can turn off some of these main display items too, if you don't want to have a cluttered screen. And so not only that, but if you click on the waypoint, which is on that grid overlay setting, you'll see waypoint 1, waypoint 2. So these will start tracking your next waypoints and have parameters associated with those, like what's my next waypoint's enter altitude, or what's the target speed for my next waypoint, what's my finish bearing. So you can start playing real deep with that waypoint setting as well, and start adding arrival and time to go. So once you start working with tasks, these are kind of really important display values to have. We've set it up real nice. If you're a beginner, you don't really know what you're doing, you're not really flying tasks, you can just hit, if you screwed that all up, you can go to reset settings, just tap it. Once again, it resets everything and your display is back to the original setup. So very customizable, very tailorable. I feel like a lot of people are going to make this cockpit their own, and then it's persistent. So it will stay with you forever until you hit reset or uninstall and clear your cache or whatever.
It's incredible. And like, again, this isn't just your kind of standard flying around stuff. As BHF is saying, I mean, this is competition level stuff. I mean, this is, as you mentioned, detrimental to glider pilots. This is the be all and end all. They only want to see very specific things on the screens, and it goes beyond just waypoints. It could be times. It could be a simple thing. Even what's the flap position? Right, I mean, it gives them all that information digitally, and that's what we're saying. Like, this centerpiece of avionics outside of your steam gauges, well, this is the be all and end all. I mean, that is going to tell you the full story of what's happening.
Yeah, we like you've probably seen, we put so much effort and time into it. Huge shout out to B21 for the framework that he's laid here. Thousands of lines of code. This is, I would say, up there with some of the great avionics in Microsoft Flight Sim. It does a lot. It's not just some EFB or some navigation map. Like, it literally is calculating so much for the glider pilot to make their flight as easy as possible. Whether you're a beginner, you can have this set up just how you want, or expert level competition, you can put anything you want on this thing. And there's just so much power with it. So very excited with the way this turned out. And then not only that, but there's a whole sister unit, the whole varial, which can be customized too. So
What? Where is that now? Oh wait,
that's the other digital round gauge with the two knobs.
Oh yeah. Oh, this guy.
That's the radio. Yeah, it's that guy. Yes.
See, I'm learning here as well. This is brilliant. Oh, look at this. You can do lots of stuff.
Yeah, so there's right click functions and left click functions, so you can change your volume, you can change your McReady or your variotone from positive to positive and negative. You can click the center button and get thermal tracking circular display as well. You can the center button will swap between those two. The bottom button will switch your pages, so you'll have like a wind page, you'll have a ADI, you'll have a settings, which you can once again customize the theme and the scale and all these things. It's pretty powerful. It's a smaller unit, but it also has quite a lot going for it, and it talks perfectly back and forth with your main display. So everything you change here is synced up perfectly.
That's awesome. I love that. Dude, it's
incredible.
One,
one last piece of equipment we've hidden in here. If you hit, this is probably going to be the most important for some of these old glider guys that love our discus. If you click the SD card on the main display, you go ahead and you're now into the quick winch.
Ooh.
And this requires no Asobo towing, nothing. You just hit connect. It gives you a cable. This is how we prefer you take off. It's simple. It's straightforward. No fuss. You select your cable length. You select your speed that you want to take off with, and you go. And you follow the display, and that's it. So people are really going to love this, because I think a lot of people commented and said they were scared we're going to remove this because we now have native tow options. No. We're going to expand on the native tow options with something in the future that we'll talk about. But we're going to keep this custom solution in here because we know a lot of people like taking off from anywhere in the world. Maybe they land in the middle of a farmer field simulating an emergency and need to get off the ground again. This is how you do it.
Oh, it's awesome. I love that. And then our GPS up here, or at least, you know, your track and receiving, is what this is for. Will it
That's
show
the flarm that I was talking about, showing the bearings.
Yeah, so it's picking up our dude walking there. Look.
Picks up all objects.
I love that. So yeah, I mean, you're flying along and it'll detect, you know, a big bird, if you like, or certainly an aircraft or another glider, as you say, once it's in proximity. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Big shout out to Touching Cloud too, because back in the day, he's the one who gave us kind of the fundamental for these gauges before we kind of patched into them and fixed them up a little bit. He's the one who did the framework for him. So you may know him. He did the in-air refueling add-on as well as the air show add-on. So he's a big part of this history too. Maybe not overtly part of this project, but his code is still living in here. And a huge shout out to him as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now we will go for a launch, but there's far more to this machine than just being a glider. I mean, it's a self-propelled glider, right? So we have a little button down here, and this will go Transformers mode. If I click this, we see this absolute class setup now with our little propeller. So that's now in place. We can start it up. It's self-propelled. She'll start moving. And then, of course, it has its own rotor brake in there when you bring your power back, and then, you know, you close it back into the aircraft itself. But I wanted to show just the detail here, right? Because it's you could have just went with a simple arm that went upwards, notwithstanding your man standing inside the wing. But this is coded because you're showing the friggin' battery packs. Nuts, right?
Yeah, you know, with our team, we don't leave any detail unlooked. We don't hide any collision boxes. You can go explore the entire innards if you want. Sure, there'll be stuff that's not the inside, like you're not going to see the water, but we try to really go as far as we can.
You can see the water when you jettison it.
Well, yeah, true.
So, right? Simulated water. But like, look at the details here, and like this is where I was staggered. Look at the detail here, lads. You can read that. Like, what? It's unbelievable, the detail. And I suppose it's an advantage of... I don't want to say it's not a complex machine, because it's now incredibly complex. We haven't... You know, when it comes to gliders, you were like, yeah, it'd be grand. But like, between the avionics and the sounds and then all of this, like, it's quite incredible. It's absolutely brilliant. And we can start this up. We'll start it up for the crack because the sounds are good, right? That's the wrong button completely. Motor cable extended and tow table is... Get rid of that. Right, I fixed that. Now, we can start this machine here, right? So, yeah, battery looks good. We'll go for the starter. And then if I start increasing... There we go. Oh, Jesus, we nearly took Jimmy's head off. It's grand. But the sounds here are incredible. Alright, it's pretty cool. Now, obviously there's a finite amount of battery charging available to this thing. I mean, we can't fly a full flight with that engine on. But we do have some options for when it comes to recharging because, well, we have additional batteries, right?
Correct. And this is a ground charging unit only, so you got to be on the ground and parked. But you can go ahead and charge your motor battery or your avionics battery 1 or 2. and it will go ahead and charge them up. So if you run out of battery throughout your flight, just go ahead and land up at an airfield, charge her up, and take off again. And extra with that, the power plant interface that shows all the engine data, there's even more to that. So you can right click on that knob and it will give you like a log. So if you're having any engine issues, or if you're having any battery warnings, it will tell you these things as well, so that you can see exactly your performance. So if you're flying competition and your guy's like, you're going too fast, I think you're cheating, right?
Yeah.
Show me your log. And they'll be like, oh, it looks like you had motor started at this time, right? So there's quite a bit of tracking going on here, some advanced stuff. So
I love that. I love that. And battery temperature, the whole lot there as well. It's incredible. I mean, it's a glider. Who'd have known? Caution, propeller
and
brake.
it's full electric system. You can turn off any circuit breaker. You can play with any switch up to the jettison handle. We've made sure that every single thing in the cockpit works, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We really wanted it to be fully operational that way. To the point where if you move your camera and go under the nose towards the rudder pedals, I'll show you something cool that a lot of people are going to miss. And if you go forward there, and you'll see like a stack behind the rudder pedals, looks like 2 screws.
Oh yeah.
And if you go ahead and bring up your weight loadout, and you adjust your front weights, you'll see exactly how the that works as well. So the specifically the nose trim ballast plates.
Ballast. Oh wow! Look at this. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So we've made sure to just add these things. We want to make sure that these details aren't overlooked. Like, we really are adding the weights with the plates, and if you add weight there, you're going to see weight go there. We made sure that ballast dumps. This has 6 valves. You have inner wings, outer wings, and tail for the ballast, and we wanted to make sure that you just don't hit a hotkey and dump everything at once. You can control how your ballast. So we've given you hotkeys specifically set so you can dump just your inner ballast or dump your outer ballast, and the lights on the panel will sit there and indicate, as well. So if it flashes between green and red, your ballast tank's empty and you can go ahead and close the valve. We've read the real manuals on these things and made sure to get these as accurate as possible towards the real unit. So some real exciting stuff with it.
It's absolutely incredible. Right, what we'll do a quick launch for the sheer crack of it, right?
Yeah, you may want to reset your settings because you probably screwed up your ballast adjustment, which is very important with gliders. Just throwing that out there.
So will I do just a reset? I will.
Yep, if you reset settings, it'll reset your ballast level as well.
Sweet, okay. Right, so let me see. Tell me again how we get this quick launch.
Go to the SD card.
Oh yeah, SD card, yes.
You can hear Microde's fine voice as he directs you through launch.
Okay, 1,500 meters, 100. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Right, lie back and think of Ireland. Let's see what happens. Yep, release. 3, 2, 1. Movement.
Now, as you're doing this, try to keep your glider in the center crosshair as you're moving up. You're going to want to climb at like a 45-degree angle.
Roger.
And try your best to stay inside the circle.
Easy. Shouldn't this be getting faster now? Come on. Jonx, if I die on takeoff, listen, it's science, right?
You might have messed with too many settings. You might just want to hit restart.
No, we're okay. We're alive. We're alive. Keep it in the course or crosshairs. Oh, Jesus, hang on now. Get in there now. Oh, Jesus, mind the trees. Easy now. Oh, we're way miles off. Go this way, Murph. Oh, no, right, we're dead. Right.
Yeah, I would definitely restart. Try to take off at like a 45.
Right
for
now?
sure.
Right now?
You probably had something kind of blocking you from when you were pulling those full weights. I think you put full weights in your pilot seats and your luggage and maybe screwed something up there.
All is well. I have regained because we've used the... See? Right? I shouldn't be allowed to do this stuff. Oh, bring the gear up. Look, there's a retractable landing gear in this. Look at this state. We are gliding. We are gliding, friends. And the sound, right? There is no, well, that's the sound of the motor, but like positive rate-ish. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, glider guys, do not judge his launch, okay?
Yeah, listen, I'm the sort of, it does look pretty. I mean, that looks gorgeous. Right, great sounds here. Let's see here now. Let's go back to our map. And here's all our information that was coming in. So we'll gain a little bit of altitude and we'll ramble over this way. Because watching a video of this thing, I mean, this thing can be really thrown around there speed-wise. I mean, they can reach like incredible speeds on their initial, when they climb, when they tow, they'll drop down, pick their speed up, and then they just kind of hang around for the day.
Yeah, these are competitive level gliders. They're super fast. I mean, there's been some world champions made with this thing, so
it's incredible.
It's a fast glider. Yeah.
Right, so let's see what happens. We're going to bring this motor offline, get ourselves leveled out, right? And we're going to disconnect the engine. So engine going away, right? So it's folding back in, and look at the flex of those wings, man. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And here we are gliding.
Yeah, show the bug wipers with the flex. Maybe do some movements as you're bug wiping.
So see, that's insane. Look, does that just go up and down, up and down? It does. That'll get to the end of the track and then come back to me, won't it? It does. Look.
Yep. Once it gets to the end, you can switch down, and then it will come all the way back. And then once it hits back, the switch will reset to 0, so you're not wasting power.
So it has a little servo in it. Like how?
Yeah.
How you managed to keep that in the same position? Like, that's incredible.
It was not hard, because at some point you can move the switch to neutral and lock it, so it could just stay on the wing and just be there all day with wing flex. So that's quite complex.
That's incredible. But I mean, look at here we are. I mean, we're maintaining about 2,500 feet. We're getting some climbs here and there. It's bumpy. It's able to, depict what's happening with the air. And as you say, I mean, you can use the avionics or just what the wing is doing. So, hey, look, there was a bit of lift back there. Let's go back to it. Or, pick your ridge line, see where the mountains are, and the wind will just push it upwards. I mean, it's all there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And something that's really cool is I want to give a huge shout out to 270 who's our sound designer of this too, to the point where like you can adjust that little vent next to where your hand goes, your right hand, and you can hear the airflow differences as you do it. So in your ears, you'll hear it pointing towards certain directions depending on where the airflow is going.
You guys hear that?
So you can like use scroll to and do increments. You'll definitely hear the difference as you do it. But yeah, the sound design on this is incredible, especially when it comes to gliding. There's so much environmental that's a huge factor that cues pilots into how things are going, like how lift is, how you're performing, if you're sitting within the appropriate speed for whatever task you're doing. Wind is very important, especially over the airflow. And so he did an incredible job making this sound pack.
That's just awesome. And there is a vent up the front. There's a way to open that vent, I think, isn't there? There's like an air vent.
The little pull handle next to the display labels near the headset mic switch. You can pull that out, and that opens up cockpit ventilation, which if you have icing conditions, it will help de-ice the canopy.
And the sounds are all there, man. It's incredible.
Same with the side windows and everything. So if you think you can click it, you can click it.
That's awesome. Awesome. Like, we're at 2,800 feet. I mean, we are gliding, right? We haven't died yet. This is great fun. And we're still maintaining decent speed. So this will hang around. Like, it's great. Pocket of air there.
I think this is going to be the next it's definitely flagship for us, but I feel like this is going to be really flown in the community. There's a handful of gliders out there, but gliders are finicky. You almost have to custom code the entire thing. And so there's very far and few. There's some great freeware ones out there. There's our Discus and there's this, but there's not many gliders out there. If there's the Asoba ones, which are okay. And then there's the ones we've included in 2024, which they have engines like this too. They're all combustion engines, so the stemming, it's a glider, but it also is very Tour de France. You know, this is G3Xs, and so, this is as pure as it gets. And we definitely wanted to bring something like this to the sim, and we're really proud of the work we've done for sure.
And as I've said, like, I mean, nothing else flies like this. I mean, this gives you such a unique, flying experience. And the challenge is, I mean, it'll put a smile on your face. I mean, look at it. We're 31, we're climbing, Jonx, we're actually climbing, right? And it's brilliant, do you know what I mean? And
it's even more rewarding when the engine's off and you're climbing, you know, when you're riding those thermals. Well, then you're really rewarded.
My engine is off. Look, it's like cycling.
Oh, you are?
Right?
I thought you were motor running. Sorry, I don't have audio turned on your stream because I'm listening through Discord.
It's like cycling a bicycle with no stabilizers. Look at this. I can do the thing. But it is. It's super fun to fly. So very unique and different. And I cannot wait for folks to experience this. I mean, you're looking at a release all going well. We're looking at July. For folks to really get a chance to play around with this thing.
Yeah. And so I'll go ahead and kind of talk about the release plans because there's a whole lot more. We're going to call this the month of soaring. And it kind of extends to the end of June all the way through July and maybe a little bit past July as well. And so starting this weekend, we're dropping the Discus 2C update for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Ooh. And this isn't just an update. This is a remaster. So this is the full avionics suite that you're playing with right now in the AS33. It is new modeling, new animations, new wing flex. There's so much packed into it. There's more information in a forum post I made that I'll go ahead and post that link after this discussion so people can go there and kind of foray what we're working on. And that's a huge remaster. So that's coming out this weekend. The week after that, we're dropping the AS33 for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. There's going to be a difference. We're not going to drop both packages at the same time, 2020, 2024, just because there's some of those SU2 issues we're hoping to get worked out. But for the most part, even if they're not worked out by the time we're ready, we're dropping it anyways, and we'll just put a big disclaimer there like, hey, this will work in the next update. Chill out. Because wing flex is a big thing that's not working in SU2, and so we really don't want to release with wings being wonky, especially in a glider where that's so important.
Yeah.
But if it's not fixed by then, we're not going to hold off. It will be fixed in a future update, and you'll still enjoy your flight, even if some of your visuals look a little weird.
Sure.
And so the 33 2020 is coming. Also, the same week, we're dropping a tow expansion pack, which our Wilga 35 Alpha is going to be included as a tow plane. It will have a Ford F-150 winch truck. We'll have a Cyber winch, which is a Cyber winch truck.
No!
The Cyber truck. And then we're also fixing some of the default tow behaviors of a solo aircraft, as well as adding more. So like the Robin 400 or the X-Cub, which are primarily used for towers, they weren't included as tow aircraft in the base game. So we're going to enable those and then change up a little bit of the flight model to make them more realistic for towing. And then release a pack. And this is going to be freeware on our website as well. So people can download that. And even if they don't own the Wilga or anything, you can go ahead and get towed up by a Wilga. And it's going to be a fun little pack. And it's worth mentioning that the update for the Discus is free. If you've previously bought the premium, it's going to be free. Or if you've only downloaded the freeware, because we had a freeware Discus, it's going to be free. And then the AS33 is going to be $19.99, and that'll be released to our marketplace in Contrail first. And marketplace as soon as approval happens. We don't really have control over that timeline, as you know.
So this this aircraft $19.99 US. Correct. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And then after that, we're dropping the AS33 2024 package. Hopefully by then SU3 is out, maybe not. And then after that, we're dropping the Discus 2C 2024 upgrade. We really wanted to make it so if someone checked out the Discus 2C and went, wow, we can go check out the AS33 or the opposite direction. We didn't want them to feel like they downgraded in either direction. So if you buy one of our gliders and want to check out the other one, they're now using the same avionics package. They're both updated, fully compatible. They work with each other. It's going to be a great time for flying. So we're calling this the month of soaring because there's nothing but soaring add-ons coming. And then after that, great news is SU4 is where we're going to try to sneak it in. We're going to put the new avionics family in the STEMI and the Taurus with our first products with Microsoft. So all these gliders will be talking through the same systems. You'll be able to see each other. You'll be able to talk to each other and do tasks together using the same universal system that you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully in the future, we got some more developers who want access to that, and you'll see more gliders with the system.
That's incredible. And I shared the link over to the official forums where all this update news is. It's in the chat there, guys. You want to click on the link. It's just basically what Jonx and the guys are working on, a full kind of a roadmap of what they're looking at right now. And as I said, I mean, you guys have been quiet, but this is why you're working on so many different things. And as I said,
and I did. I do want to shout out right now that not just the month of soaring, we got so much planned after. We got an Aeropret A32 Vixen that is nearing completion right now. It's in sim. We just got to do some final prep on it. And then we got a Taylorcraft BC-12 as well, a vintage kind of Bush General aviation that will be coming out as well. It's going to have a really sexy cockpit. You guys are going to love this thing.
Oh, I cannot wait. I
very
need it.
steam gauge.
I need to chat to Kando because like we got to do some glider challenges, man. I mean, right, for every 100 feet you drop, it's a beer or something. We'll figure something out, right? But
yeah,
you know,
I know. I just know a lot of people were scared. They saw the first release of the year and they saw Project Crosscart and they're like, "What?" and it's like, hey, we've been toying with this idea for a while. Ground vehicles. We had to get our rendition out there, which is being praised. People love it. They think it's probably one of the most realistic ground vehicles in the sim.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what we were doing. We've been working on all these projects for 8+ months, and we have quite a few in the bag, and we're hoping that it's just release after release after release, maybe with 1 or 2 months pause between. But we got a lot coming up.
It's awesome. And like, you know, glider flying, right? I mean, if I don't do it enough, I should, right? Because especially with something like this, you can challenge yourself. I mean, it is the ultimate chill factor when everything is going according to plan. You're just sitting there watching the scenery. But within a second, suddenly you lose the thermal, the wind has changed, the temperature has dropped. Now you're in trouble because you're thinking, ooh. Now, I like the redundancy with this thing because you can get yourself out of trouble a couple of times before the battery says enough. But yeah, it's what a great way to explore scenery as well is with a glider. And like, look at, I mean, you talk about the real estate and the beautiful reflections on the canopy inside VR. Nothing really gets close to glider flying. I mean, this is where you can absolutely take advantage of VR and enjoy incredible frame rates, such as the level of 120 frames. What? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're excited to see what the community does with it. Like we said, every single switch and button has a hotkey associated with it if you want to build out your full panel. We've even seen as far as people taking the yaw string and connecting like a mechanism to the top of their monitor that wiggles with the yaw string in the sim. And we've made sure all those variables are available that they can exploit if they want to create that kind of thing. So maybe even puts a fan in front of you, simulate some wind. I don't know. We've given all the variable options there so people can if they really want to.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Now, before you end, no matter what, you have to jettison the canopy. That will be your emergency test.
That'll be the test. Well, are you going to Expo this year? You are, aren't you? Or no?
We aren't. So we have so much on a release cycle on top of our first party project updates, on top of the stuff coming after. We've kind of decided we're going to take a break this year. Mm-hmm. We still have a presence at Expo. We're going to have some trailers and media and stuff going on there for our team.
Nice.
But for the most part, our team's not going to be there in person this year. We're kind of holding off for next year. We just have too much going on right now. I think the first party and third party commitments are kind of bogging us down within 2 simulators. Yeah. You know, we're releasing these 3 products, which turn into 6 products. So we definitely want to support both sim commitments right now during this transition. So it's just kind of a lot on our team, kind of doubles the development time.
It's gas. Like I need to start shouting louder for gliders because even sitting here, I mean, it's total chill, right? But at the same time, I'm like, Jesus, like any second now I'll drop, it's gone, you know. But it's the challenges for this, you know, and it doesn't all have to be endurance. It's like, well, what if you did like a circuit, right? I mean, you can fly these things at speed. These things can haul ass. I mean, they can move.
Hey, I believe they let 12-year-olds fly these things in Europe. Okay, so.
I heard the same. Yeah. So yeah, I've no excuse now. Right. So let's see what happens. So we want to jettison this canopy.
So you're going to see kind of some shaking. That's the J-hook holding it in place. Now, at this point, you have the option to relatch it if you screw it up.
Okay.
Maybe you don't want to jettison it, but once you start pitching in either direction or rotating, your canopy is going to go ahead and fly out.
Jesus!
And
I knew what's coming, and it still scared me. Brilliant.
and at this point, you're manual flying. So you got your gear, your spoilers, your flaps, and dreams and prayers.
But even the spoilers, we didn't even dive into the spoilers. They're a 3-stage spoiler.
Correct.
And these things, like, I mean, they stop you, right?
Yeah, they're pretty powerful. 3-stage, really like them. Side slipping really helps. So if you got your spoilers extended, side slip in for landing. One thing that extremely helps is emptying your ballast, which you should be doing before you land. But since you got rid of your, your canopy there.
Balls. There's a switch down here, but I don't think I can use that now, can I?
You can't, because you have no electrical power since it's an electrical operated valve function.
I need to send a letter to AS, you know.
So you're going to be landing heavy. We probably should have showed that.
I need to send a letter to AS. It's like, please refrain from attaching your avionics to the canopy. It would have been fierce handy had they stayed or remained inside the aircraft. Oh dear.
Yeah, absolutely. But as you saw in the trailer, we have nice effects, and you can individually close and open each valve. So ballast is a cool feature too that we've made sure to include.
There's no escaping.
And what's really cool is we're not using a Sobo system there. It's all custom. So the inner valves, the outer valves, the tail valves, they all drain at different rates in this glider. So we've tuned it to real world specifications to make sure they drain at that rate.
Okay. Right. There's no way to kind of cancel this permadeath situation I've put myself in. I mean, you get rid of that canopy, it's
No.
good night, Irene, isn't it?
That's why when we were going through it, we were like, we had a goal. We're like, everything has to be functional. Every switch, button, it has to be done. And I got into this part and I'm like, you know, someone's going to hit this once. It's a gimmick. You know, they're never going to hit it again when they fly this thing.
Have you considered Murphy?
But we're not going to leave that kind of detail untouched. We want to make sure that it's authentic and every single thing works. So we put it in there. We spent a good, I don't know, 3 or 4 days adding the animations and the functionality and everything that has to happen when you do jettison the canopy with the airflow and the extra drag and all this stuff. And so we put all that in there just so someone could have a happy gimmick for one flight. So we hope you guys enjoy it.
It's absolutely awesome. Come here, I landed that at 120 feet a minute. I mean, come on now, right? You know, if this age you can fly a glider, you guys are going to be absolutely excellent at this. And
your view is incredible.
Right? Best view in the house. But no, Jonx, like to you and everyone on the team, well done, lads. I mean, a glider is putting a smile on my face, and like I don't spend an awful lot of time with gliders. But this, what you're creating here, it has the depth of systems. It has the realism. It's backed up by the team with the avionics, working with a 2-time world champion. I mean, you're ticking all the boxes here. The price is very reasonable at $20, less $19.99, and it's going to be available on both platforms. And you're considering the community every step of the way. You're putting the stuff in that we want. We want the options. We want the customizations. We want the functionality of each and every switch. We want the options for multiplayer. We also want the not as harsh realistic modes if we choose them, be it with the auto launch or any sort of consequence to your mishandling. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So wish you and the team like the very, very best of this. I think a lot of folks are going to have a smile on their face flying this thing. It's superb.
Yeah, we hope it's like the discus and people enjoy this for years to come. Mm-hmm. And we want to, when we created this, we wanted to set the new standard for gliding. So we hope that we set that bar, and we invite everybody and their moms to come compete for it. So we'll be doing gliders for a long time in the future. We love them.
It's great to see, man. Well, listen, thank you so very, very much. The thunderstorms held out, right? Brilliant. And hopefully we get to chat to you soon, mate. Massive shout out to you and all the team, and keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome.
Sounds good. Black 17 out.
Black 17, brilliant. Good luck. Oh, that's fantastic. So, right, now, buttons were fix everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, buttons should be working. What an awesome look at this aircraft, lads, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Phenomenal work here by GotFriends, and as I say, you're really, really going to enjoy it. Now, I know we're running a little bit late, but that's quite okay, because I want to show you now our next aircraft tonight. It's a brand new release over on Sim Market, and it is that which is officially tip of the cap from Dassault. It is the Alpha Jet. So we're going to load into this aircraft right now, and we're going to have a look at it. Dassault Aviation, the Alpha Jet from Vriga Studio. All right, Mr. Chippy, thank you very much indeed for 50 months. We also got raided left, right, and centre, guys. Thank you very, very much indeed for all the support this evening. I really do appreciate it. Massive shout out to GotFriends. I need to chat to Kando because I've watched him with gliders, and I remember watching Fabio, the Flying Fabio, some time ago. He had a glider simulator. Convair or something. I was fascinated by it. It was like with glider flying. Really, that's a thing. You're really going to enjoy that. I mean, you just saw the smiles on my face. It's like, oh, I'm doing a thing. It's brilliant, right? Brilliant. But anyway, let us move on and forth, and let's check out this Alpha Jet here. So press of a button. We're going to go in the Patrouille de France livery. That's how we say that, lads. Even if it isn't, that's how we say it. And well, we're going to go over to our normal stomping grounds over here at Casement Air Base. And well, let's see what this machine is all about. Let the scenery load in. Change the time of day. That looks good. And we're going to load in with Condor. That's the one. Thank you, lads. Condor. Yeah, that was the one. But yeah, absolutely incredible. So the Alpha Jet, a training, tactical support, twin-jet, tandem two-seater aircraft designed for a program jointly run by France and Germany's air forces, and it was used, of course, it is still used by the Patrouille de France aerobatics team all the way since 1981, and the aircraft is still working. Jay, good to see you, buddy, and welcome in to everyone. If I didn't get a chance to say hello to you, lads, thank you and very welcome in. You're very welcome. I don't think I'll be seeing anything flying with that canopy gone. My eyes would be screwed shut. Right. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. So, right, we're going to, let's see here now, get our cameras and stuff set up here, calm it all down, and let us go with something like this, as we just kind of look at the aircraft here in the background as we learn a little bit more about it. It's a release that kind of just showed up, right? And we need sounds on here, Murph. There we go. It just kind of showed up, right? It's suddenly released. I saw it on MSFS-addons.com, and I was like, hey, what's this thing all about, right? So over on the Sim Market page, Vriga Studio, never heard of them. They're in official collaboration with Dassault, and then we can see the features. So the Alpha Jet will give you immense pleasure whether you're flying as a wingman at the controls of an aerobatic team in hyperdynamic evolution such as solo display or in very low altitude tactical flight. The experience will be unequaled. This is A. Optimized 3D model, fully modeled front and rear cockpits, support for AI co-pilot and integrated checklists, ready for multiplayer instructor-student experience. I don't know how that works, but does that mean you could have shared cockpit? Maybe. 5 liveries, including 9 of the Patrouille de France. More to come at free updates. High G factor wing flex. And the list kind of goes on and on, right? The aircraft is for sale right now. You can pick it up for about €36. It's in and around your $40 or $40, right? Ever think you have a bit of a problem, Murph? I saw it on MSFS add-ons and you threw your wallet at the screen. I have a terrible problem. But I know folks are interested in this jet, so I said, right, we better buy it. I did reach out to the developers. I had some questions for them. And I says to them, question, right now, is my ticket gone? It is, my ticket is gone. The question was, is the aircraft going to be made available on the Microsoft Flight Sim Marketplace? Their answer, yes, in time it will be made available. My second question was, if you buy the current aircraft, which is for Flight Sim 2020, how do you get it for 2024 once they make it available? And they said it is a free upgrade to the 2024 variant. That's what they said. Good news there. So if you do buy this aircraft, well, at least you'll know then in 2024 it's a free upgrade when they make that aircraft available. All right, so it's kind of, this is a first look really. Like, I mean, it's not much of a review because, well, I haven't spent enough time with it. However, we'll have a bit of a jolly and see what it's all about. So looking at the exterior, I mean, there's some nice areas here. The livery, of course, it is that of the Patrol de France. Beautiful detailing on the livery, right? And we can see some areas, of course, right? The remove before flight stuff, a little bit kind of, right, texture's a little bit low. The livery here was kind of a couple of spots they've missed, right? But not the end of the world. As I said, this is a brand new developer, so let's see where this goes. The 3D modeling, by and large, looks quite good-ish. There's a couple of areas where it just, you know, might be a little bit on the janky side. Some of the detailing, I'm sure they are painted that color. I'm pretty sure. Moving towards the landing gear, again, nicely detailed. There's a bit of stuff going on there. Textures, they're not going to be the sharpest or the best you've ever seen, but they're there, right? Plenty of cables. We do have decals there. Fairly alright-ish resolution. Again, you're not going to be really getting up close and personal. Interior textures, well, they tried to do a little bit here with the landing gear door. It's not great, but it's okay. It's about 37 bucks, Big Al, about 37. Moving along, we do have some tie downs on the engines. We have some nice decals here. There's a break glass here. Danger ejector seat. There's that absolutely stunning logo from the Patrol de France. Beautiful. And what else do we have? A number of, we got pitot covers installed there. Beautiful light on the front. So by and large, it's actually looking okay, isn't it? Not too bad. We also have the smoke generator. That's already fitted. We have an option of putting in the fuel tanks, drop tanks onto the side. But the aircraft, it's, as I said, it's mainly used in aerobatic display. It's also a light strike aircraft and a trainer. I mean, that's kind of what they do. You know what I mean? So that weather's looking a little bit on the Irish side, so we might just change the weather here. Hello, Flo. You miss Flo, don't you? And we'll just turn off live weather and let me see. We'll just go for kind of, typical summer's day. Maybe drop this guy back here a little bit and we can brighten it up. And let me see, time of day. Get off over here just to give us a little bit of kind of oomph. Do you know what I mean? So that's the exterior model. If you're interested, lads, as I said, it didn't get much of a lead in. It was pretty much just out here. If you're saying it looks very, the landing gear is very clean. Well, I won't say it's an easy thing for a developer to do, but I mean, if you're making if you're modeling an aircraft based on an aerobatics display team's livery, you're kind of laughing because it's going to be spotless. It just is. I mean, do you ever see these Alpha Jets in real life? They don't come to your airport with dirt and grime. These things are highly polished. They're always spotless, right? But you would be expecting some sort of dirt and grime in places. But especially kind of where the gear is and stuff under the wing. Not a lot there I can see, but they do keep these in like spotless condition, pristine condition. I think the modeling looks pretty good. I mean, it's instantly recognizable as an Alpha Jet. I think you'll all agree, yeah? So we'll jump into the cockpit now and see what it's like at the business end of the house, right? So let us dive in. So welcome to the cockpit. Again, it looks pretty nice. We've got some nice textures here, right? And even on the sidewall, yeah, are not too bad. Plenty of functionality. Everything's in French. So this is going to be absolutely hilarious. Canopy is up. There isn't any sort of electronic HUD. We do have a checklist here that we can see. The main panel textures, they're not terrible. They're not great though. You can kind of see that low poly, right? Be great to see that just a little bit sharpened. Performance is great though. We do have a number of instruments that we can follow. Anything from our navigation, speed, it's all our gear is here, right? Hydraulics, flaps. You need to be careful with the buttons because on this we have a left and a right click by default. So you need to be careful with your click spots. What we see in the front of the aircraft is mirrored at the back, and you can fly this aircraft from either position. It flies in the front or the back. So I'm going to remove the before flight. So we got one on each seat for the ejector seat, and we also have the landing gear. And when you remove those, they appear in a small little area over here, and then you can reapply them, which is handy. Down into our EFB, we have some options with the covers. Remove those. Chocks, smoke pod, and if you wanted to put in the fuel tanks, that's our fuel tanks now loaded into the aircraft. Not too bad. And that will affect the flight model. So we're going to fly with those bad boys off for the moment. With the chocks off, it gives you a better indication of the exhausts for the engines. But again, you know, I mean, they're grand. That's for your smoke system. That you know, the exhaust heats, that's how that works, yeah. But you can kind of see the textures are okay, right? I mean, they look the part. Probably not the most, you know, elaborate, but you can definitely see into the back of the jet engine. They got the fan in there, which looks nice. So overall, I think the model is quite nice. Quite nice, all right? What else do we have in place here now? We're going to remove the chocks. We can go through our fuel tanks down here. We also have, this is your configuration screen. We also have a checklist in which we can go down and through all our checklists. It's also included in the default Microsoft Flight Sim checklist. If you go up here, there we go. We have them all there as well. And then the rest then is purely for configuration, right? So in terms of me flying this or understanding how it works, it's quite similar to the Fuga Magister. Bearing in mind, this airplane replaced the Fuga Magister for the French, right? So, you know, if you're comfortable in a Fuga, you're going to be relatively comfortable in here. Within reason, right? So we're going to start off. We're going to come down here to our electrical panel, and we have our master battery switch. All right, so batteries coming on. These are all for our avionics and various pumps and stuff. Get our generators turned on, right? You can hear some fuel pumps starting to activate now. Turn these guys on. We also have some light control. And we have some interior lights here. There's beautiful lighting on this airplane. You can hear that fuel pump making sounds here. What we also want to do, we want to close the canopy. So to do so, we can click on the canopy. There she comes down, and we'll clasp and lock. To open it, it's a right click. There she goes, it locks. Because you often see these Alpha Jets taxiing with the door or the canopy exactly like that. You often see that at air shows. So you can actually do that with this, which is pretty nice. They would not taxi with the canopy straight up, look. That just wouldn't, because they break. You know what I mean? Gust of wind, right? It was the same with the Fugas. So we'll close this down again. It goes into like the latched position. It ain't going to move. Now she's locked and secured, and we'll close it off. Beautiful, right? So what we're going to do, stop pressing buttons. Right clicks, you need to be careful. Anyway, we're going to get this machine up and running. So we're going to cancel our 10,000 feet warning and our warning lights. All is looking good here. We're going to scroll down here to our left-hand side, right? And we can hear avionics and stuff coming alive. Fuel pumps coming on. And we're going to go for a start on this machine here now. Oxygen, we can also turn on here as well. And we'll go for a start. So we're going to press and hold the power, then we introduce some fuel. Are we ready? Have a listen to the sounds. Wait for about 20%. Introduce some fuel. Over 40%. Unlock our throttle. And we have a good start on the left engine. Let's repeat the process. Engine 2. Press and hold. Turbine starts. RPM moving. %. Will introduce the fuel. Fuel in. Turbine coming up to 40%. Unlock our throttle. And that's a decent startup on the aircraft. So a couple of more things you want to do. We want to push this guy forward. All our cast lights or our annunciator panel lights are now off. We can hide the yoke if needs be, I think. I thought I saw a click spot. Yeah, there is. There is a click for it, but the mouse cursor doesn't change. So you can disappear the yoke, zoom in, go ahead and get our transponder up and running. Other things we need in here, identification friend or foe. We also have some external lighting. And as I mentioned, we also have our smoke system up here as well, which can also be controlled by a keybind or by the battery. Let's have a listen to the sounds externally. Now, I think the sounds need a bit of work. I think the engine startup with the turbine is brilliant. But I think overall the sounds are definitely lacking. Right? That's just my initial feedback on it. But it's not bad, right? Not bad. And you'll understand what I mean by the sounds now in a moment, right? So with our lights on, flap operation. And again, you can hear the flaps, right? The engine should definitely have more of a kick, yes. But anyway, let's see what happens. We're going to come off the park and brake. Small bit of power apply forward. And we'll just taxi out. Very gentle handling is required on this plane. It does not want to be thrown around the place. And that's kind of where the precision of aerobatic flying kind of comes into it. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the sounds aren't fully W-wise. If we do a flyby, you know what I mean? It's like the Doppler effect hasn't been like thought up of yet. But anyway, not to worry. Flaps, we're going to go for a notch of flaps to take off. Needs more bass, yeah. It needs works with the sound. Definitely needs work on the sound. But listen, lads, as a very first time release from a developer, you know, you must have cordon bleu before the flight. Oui, merci. Right, so we'll line ourselves up here. Now, similar to the Fuga, we're going to advance the power. We're going to bring it up to about 90%. Then we'll go what's called military power, let off the brakes, and we'll jungle down the runway. Once we achieve about 100 knots, we'll gently come up off the nose gear and maintain that angle of attack until our speed continues up to about 115 and then lift off. Let us see what happens. Are we ready, sports fans? So, power coming in. 90%, systems are stable. Military power. Off the brakes. She's rocking and rolling. And remember, as I said, very finite inputs on your controls. Speed's coming up. Coming up at 100. Gently pull back. Off the nose. Hold it. And now we're airborne. Gear up. Flaps in. And let's bring that power back to about 90%. Alright, so far so good, right? Very gentle roll left. 200 knots here at the moment. Internal sounds aren't bad. Think it's in mono? Yeah, there's something not right with the sounds. Now, as I said, you need very delicate, finite movements on your inputs. You want to start throwing this thing around in pitch or in roll. It's extremely responsive. I would say, for me, I would say too much so. It needs to be kind of dialed down a little bit. However, if you fly it very gently, it's nice, right? Yeah, the gear sounds are good. Hydraulic sounds are good. Flaps, ailerons, all them sounds are really good, right? But if we were to listen to a flyby, Needs a bit of work, right? Needs a bit of work. But that's okay, you know, we won't get too excited. 90% power, coming up on 300 knots. And from the cockpit view, I mean, you can see it, lads. Easy now, Murph. We're getting mother of Jesus. We were getting stutters. As you can see from the cockpit view, it's quite nice, right? I mean, it's a nice virtual cockpit. And if we bring the time of day down to bring up some of this night lighting, right? With all our lights that are currently on, it's certainly a nice place to sit. The lighting on this is nice. Don't know why we have flickering there, but it is a nice aircraft. We can go into the back, do the same. I don't know why I have that flickering. Maybe I found a bug. Let's get our headlight on. Bring up these internal lights. I don't know why that's flashing, so that certainly looks to me like a bug. Maybe it's tied into our taxi lights? Not sure. But not a big to do, right? Not a big to do. I'm looking for kind of reflections on the glass. I'm not really seeing them on the canopy. I think it's them strobe lights are just causing an additional flash in there, right? But certainly that nose light, it's done beautifully. You have a beautiful kind of glow out right above the nose here. And as you're flying with it, I mean, yeah, I mean, that looks real nice. You know what I mean? So we'll go back to a bit of daytime here. And next up is going to be our smoke system, right? So in order to get our smoke working, smoke pod, put it back. We want blue smoke, and the smoke should be activated by the light switch. Which doesn't seem to be working. Let's go ahead and have a look at the manual, shall we? It does come with a manual, always good to know. I mean, we got what, 31 pages here of information, alright? So let's just have a look here. Center tank, cold and dark states, red smoke, add GNSS. Let's have a look here now. Tells you what everything is. Front cockpit, nose, smoke indicator on off, smoke indicator white. Once the system has been armed via the armament control panel, the smoke system box will illuminate. Press and toggle wing lights command activates the smoke. The switch between color smoke and toggle command default key of O. So there's no way I can see arming this unless it's down here somewhere. They're all our lights. Climate control, pedo. Turn this guy on, turn that guy on. There's a light. So that's good. So if we go O, red, there we go. This will work now. So if we go for a smoke. You were thinking about it. Quickly go to hang on, quickly go to controls, control options, and what did this say? Wing lights. Let's go ahead and bring this up here. Where will we bind this fella to? Let's go for the rudder. Why not? No, not the rudder, you muppet. Let's go to the mongoose, and in here we're going to go wing light. See, toggle wing lights. Super duper. Have I a button in here for this? Let's find out now. Yeah, we'll try this. No, we'll try something over here, Murph. Try this one. Validate. Apply and save. Back. Zoom. There we go. Here's the smoke working. We can change the colour of that. There's blue and white. Blue and white. Alright. Let's go blue, right? Hey, Brett. Good to see you, buddy. So we see that smoke system working. It's pretty. It's a pretty airplane. It just needs the sounds, lads. That's where she's lacking, right? It just needs that. It just needs better sounds. I think we get better sounds in there. She's going to be like so much more better. You know what I mean? Nice. Smoke off. It's just the sounds, you know what I mean? But yeah, it does, you know what I'd be drawn with smoke, right? And you can see this, the length of smoke is quite good, I thought, right? As I say, I think they've done a great job with the modeling, right? The internals are quite good. I like the avionics. It would be great to get good sounds. I love how mature this community is. And I just think that, you know, that main white light at the front, that could be an LOD, but like that light needs to be on. There we go. And I want that to be red smoke. I'm gonna go red. Interesting. I mean, that is pretty looking, isn't it? Do you know? We just like the look of this. This is terribly nice. Hang on. This needs a very kind of fitting soundtrack. Would you agree? What's that song they played? Where is this now? This could work. I have a button here somewhere and I can't find it. Interesting soundtrack. This might be better. So, friends, there we have it. The Alpha Jet from Vriga Studios. We've never seen of these before, right? With the tunage and all that. I haven't seen this developer before, but I mean, as you can see from it, right? It's not bad. It needs a little bit of work. I think, as I say, a little bit sensitive in the controls, but if you're gently with it, it's quite good. For a first effort, I think this is quite good. I really do. I just think the little bit, I mean, you can see this sort of stuff, that's barely putting any input in on my flight controls. And it's the old story. Sometimes they just don't get it 100% right. But yeah, I think it's quite good. I think it's quite good. So, any questions? Like 25,000 feet, I mean, this is, it's quite impressive, right? Definitely a nice option to go flying with. And I suppose, you know, I mean, if you're French, you're going to be getting the, you just are, right? C'est magnifique, right? It's just, it's an iconic aircraft from the French. And not only it being an Alpha Jet, but of course, when it comes to the Patrol de France, I mean, you know, these guys are in the papers for the wrong reasons, though, I think recently. They didn't have I think they had a crash there not so long ago. But their displays are absolutely incredible. They visited Baldonnel many, many times. I like the way we have smoke in there, like straight away, no messing. You can have your own smoke and you know what I mean. Definitely have a bit of fun learning how to fly the Alpha Jet, you know. Yeah, these and the Italian team, yeah, I think they had some, certainly some unfortunate news this year. I think they've had a couple of disasters. But hopefully this is enough to kind of show you, okay, yes, this is the Alpha Jet. We have an idea, right? Two dogs, thank you very, very much indeed, man. Jesus, 30 months, buddy. Cheers. What a ledge. Thank you very much indeed, man. And of course, with our different options there, we can put the external fuel tanks on, so you can simulate flying to different countries for air shows. We have the smoke pod in there, and yeah, it's a great airplane in the real world. This one from Vriga Studios, it's definitely I think it's a good effort. I think it's a solid effort. The most imminent changes, feedback I would have are the sounds and also the flight controls. The inputs are just a little bit, you know what I mean? Like a little bit kind of BJ's then, isn't that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They need to dull them out and just tweak them a little bit. But look, as a first-time entry into the world of flight simulation, they've done a great job. I'd like to see more. It makes you wonder, though. It's licensed by Dassault. Did anyone from Dassault sit down and try and fly this? Because they'd be like, our plane doesn't look like that. Our plane doesn't do that. Our plane doesn't sound like that. You know what I mean? If you're AzurPoly, you're probably saying, what is this? But anyway, not a bad effort, as I say, from a first-timer. And, well, let's see. You know, let's see where they take it. Let's see where they take it. Kieran Niall, thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you, sir. Absolute ledge. But yeah, lads, it's, you know, I hope this has been an eye-opener. I know, so, you know, there's been questions. Murph, I'm taking a bite in it. What do you think? Right? So hopefully this will help you out. As I mentioned earlier, this is our last Wednesday night news show prior to FlightSimExpo. We won't be here next week. We will, however, be here the following week. So our next FlightSim news will be on July 2nd. July 2nd. And that's going to be busy because, well, we're going to bring you all the news from FlightSimExpo, plus another few bits and pieces as well. So, yeah, guys, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Massive shout out to our guests this evening. We had Brian from SayIntentions and we had Jonx from GotFriends. Absolutely brilliant to be able to catch up with both the lads to see what they're doing. Two very capable and passionate developers. Absolutely in the zone when it comes to what they're building. And it's great to see. It is great to see. It's great to be just... you know, a passenger in all of this to see what they do. Also tomorrow, lads, yes, we will be live streaming tomorrow. We'll be live in the morning and we need to do a lot of prep. Pardon me, for our VATSIM flight tomorrow night. We're flying from Guernsey down to Gibraltar and it's going to be absolutely friggin' nuts. And yeah, we'll be having some fun with that. I might take the 777 out for a jolly in the morning. And then it's over to the Airbus tomorrow evening as we do our flight on VATSIM. Looking forward to it. But you gotta love Chase Plane. This is all powered by Chase Plane. All these views, absolutely incredible, incredible stuff. So yeah, very much loving this. So yeah, Gibraltar, piece of cake, says Dougal. Yeah. It'll be loads of fun. It's going to be a full toga. Yes, it is. Togos as well, Mr. Chippy. That right, less clothing will be required. You know what I mean? If you fly out with Shannon, you may get some ATC. Larry, cannot wait, my guy, cannot wait. And massive congratulations, dude. Great stuff. Yeah, we'll ramble down to Shannon. And clearance on request. I have a feeling we're going to hear that. Take your Paro plane, right? Brilliant. But lads, as with every Wednesday night show, if there's any add-ons you would like checked out before you buy, just let me know on Discord. Drop me a DM. Right? Are you flying the FS Labs tomorrow? I might do that as well, Energizer. I'm flying the Phoenix tomorrow night. I won't get an A321 off the ground at Guernsey. Is Jersey bigger? We could take the FS Labs from Gibraltar back the way. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, lads, as always, thank you all so very, very much indeed. It's been an absolute pleasure spending our evening together once again. And we'll be back tomorrow sometime in the morning. You'll see, no doubt, you'll hear and see all the pings I put up on the gadget. And right, you'll see it on Discord, ! Discord. If you are new here, that's where we all hang about, where we're not on a live stream. Very awesome community of folks over there, sharing stories, help, support, settings, you name it, and of course taking the mick out of me, which is great, you know. But right, see us tomorrow now, whatever time in the morning. Thank you very much indeed. Shout out again to Brian and to Jonx and to you guys. Thanks a million, and we shall see you tomorrow in the morning. Good luck to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, balls. Thomas, you big scuttling Egypt. Oh, Jesus, there he is. I just don't want to know. Oh, I take it all back. Did you just see me scream? Oh, no. That wasn't nice at all. No. Holy crap. We're going in. That's it. There's no turning back at this stage.